Hall of Famer Tito Santana, and you are listening to Houston Wrestling Radio. Viva!
This is Brian Williams, the right tackle for your Houston Texans, and you're listening to Houston Wrestling Radio.
This is the Rockstar Robbie Gilmore, Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, and you are listening to Houston Wrestling Radio.
Hello and welcome everyone to the 43rd edition of Houston Wrestling Radio. This is Abel.
This is Travis.
And Chris is this.
What?
Chris is this?
Huh?
Oh, shit.
You screwed that
I
up.
fucked it up already?
Yeah, already.
Why do we keep bringing you back?
Y'all told me to.
Abel did, maybe.
You feed him once.
I know, yeah. This
doesn't
go away.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Like a stray cat.
Yeah, indeed.
That explains the other ones you got around.
Yeah.
I think we have a pretty cool interview that we got set up for this week's show. And that's good because it seems as though the rest of wrestling wasn't all that cool this week. Everything seemed a little mediocre. But our interview is not mediocre at all.
Hell no.
No, I'm pretty excited about this. Just kind of want to preface this a little bit with how this all came about. Basically, SmackDown was being taped here this past Thursday, and we're not going to talk about it because it hasn't aired yet, and you know how I don't like to get into spoilers.
Boo.
Right. But before the show, we had the city of Houston declare it as Booker T Day. So I was out there in the hot sun, baking away, waiting for Booker T Day to happen, and we caught some footage, and we actually put that up on the YouTube site.
You can go to YouTube, and you can see it right there.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good clip. It was pretty much the majority of.
I mean, you're in it, so that's kind of bad. But I mean, get past that. Get past the first few seconds with Abel talking. It's pretty good. It's pretty decent. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So check that out. Go onto the YouTube page and see Houston honoring Booker T. After that, everybody decided to get into lines and, wait for the doors to open.
How dare they?
Well, that's how it always goes.
Mm.
So while I had a captive audience there, I started walking up and down, passing out business cards.
Pimping us out. That's right.
Pimping us out. And then I noticed, coming from the other direction, someone else was pimping out their own thing. So we ran into each other pretty much. It's like, hey, what are you passing out? I don't know. What are you passing out? And it turns out that this guy was from Clutch City Productions. And they're having a convention here. They're calling it the Sports and Celebrity Super Show. And it's going to be at the Pasadena Convention Center on August the 31st and September the 1st. So that's a Saturday and a Sunday. And what was cool about it, what caught my eye, is that the people that they're going to have here, well, a lot of them are wrestlers. And not just any old wrestlers, but some pretty big names. Let me list off here who we're going to have, or they're going to have. It's Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, X-Pac, Gray the Hammer Valentine, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Robbie E, Miss Tessmacher, and our special guest for this week,
Oy, wait.
Tito Santana. So
you mean WWE Hall of Famer Tito Santana?
WWE Hall of Famer.
You mean
Tito
the Mexican Tito Santana?
Yes,
not Tito Puente, not Tito Ortiz, not Tito Jackson. You mean the wrestler, Tito
Santana.
Nice.
That one. Yeah, so
we got to interview him?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
It's like you were there or something.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Was I?
Yeah.
Well, you may not remember.
Oh shit, I don't remember a lot of things.
Anyway, the guys from Clutch City Productions were kind enough to allow us to interview Tito Santana to kind of help put over the fact that he's going to be in town, and you could check him out there at the Pasadena Convention Center August 31st. But also, you could check us out. We're also going to be a part of the show too. We're going to have our little table there set up and everything. So if you don't want to come out and meet the wrestlers, you can come out and meet us. We're a draw, right?
In our own minds, yes.
If you're looking to get your money's worth, do not come see us. And I just got here, and I'm telling you straight up, do not come see us. Once you hear us, that's enough. The new car smell's long gone out the window once you look at us. Oh, shit.
Dude, you're supposed to put over your own product, not bury your own product. What are you, Triple H?
Michael Cole.
Michael Cole. Jeez, okay. Anyway, you freaking suck.
Come see us.
Come see us, yes. Come see us.
At your own risk.
Right. And, this is called the sports...
Actually, come see us and do a low blow to Chris over here.
Yes, give Chris a low blow.
Oh man, we're gonna go there already. I thought we were gonna save that. Well, we'll
No,
save it for
you know,
later.
we will save it for the show. We'll talk about that later. But
him in the balls.
the other thing that I was going to say is, aside from wrestlers, this is also going to be a sports show, so there's going to be other people there. That chick who's from Pasadena who went to the Olympics, Marlene, and I can't pronounce her last name.
Esparza?
Esparza, there you go.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Yeah, Marlene.
You're the new host of the show now.
Marlene Esparza will be at the show.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
She'll
that's
be
enough.
there. Yeah, so there's also going to be some former NBA people, MLB people, things like that. So, come and check it out. It's going to be a rocking good time, I believe. So,
All that being said, without further ado, Yes.
shall we get to the interview portion of the show?
Yes, everybody wants you to stop talking so we can get on to the interview.
All right, let's get to it then.
All right.
All right, everyone, here we are again with another exclusive interview for this week, and I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys are excited about it too. On this week, we have a former two-time WWF Tag Team Champion, a former two-time Intercontinental Champion, and a WWE Hall of Famer, class of 2004, none other than the great Tito Santana. Welcome to the show, Tito.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
We're honored to have you on our show.
Yes, thank you very much. Gracias.
All right. Tito, I want to break the ice here a little bit with you and kind of ask you a question that I ask most of people that come on my show. And I think it's going to be interesting asking you this because most of the time when I do this, it's to younger folk. I usually ask them, what is it that got them into wrestling in the first place? And the answer is usually, oh, I grew up watching Hogan, or I grew up watching Stone Cold, and that made me want to be a wrestler. But you were actually wrestling during that time period. What was it that got you into wrestling?
Well, I came from, I was a migrant worker, in South Texas, and grew up with not too much money, and I happened to get a scholarship in football, and Tully Blanchard was the quarterback, and everybody in Texas knows Tully Blanchard and Joe Blanchard, and they started talking to me about professional wrestling, and I wasn't a wrestling fan myself. I became a fan until I got into it. But Joe Blanchard, I was more interested in playing professional football, and Joe Blanchard started talking to me about what kind of money I could make in professional wrestling. So for me, it was money. I saw a better future for myself and hopefully for my family, and it turned out to be the best thing that I ever did.
Awesome. That's pretty cool that you were able to kind of make a living out of that and just get into it just as just kind of coming up here in in Texas and kind of working your way up. I think that's really awesome. And that's also understandable because at that time, wrestling wasn't as big as it is now. So that's a very interesting story. Let's see here. Well, speaking of all that, speaking of, finally getting in and getting into the wrestling world, you've wrestled all over the place. You wrestled a bunch of different venues and all over the world and everything. What experiences, did you have working for certain places? And more specifically, what was it like working at Madison Square Garden?
Well, Madison Square Garden, I got advice from different wrestlers, that would tell me, it's probably the hardest place to get over in with the wrestling fans. They were hard. You really had to earn the fans. But just walking into the arena, at the time, my first time at Madison Square Garden, I was pretty young. I was shocked at the amount of people. There was over 20,000 people. I had never wrestled in front of 20,000 people. Although I did wrestle in some big matches there in Houston, to me, the biggest break and the biggest notoriety that I got in professional wrestling early in my career was when Paul Bosch gave me the opportunity to wrestle against Nick Bockwinkel for the world title from the American Wrestling Federation.
Yeah.
And Houston to me was what made my name.
Yeah, that's really cool. Working down here in Houston and having those big matches. Sometimes people don't realize how hot of a town Houston was back in the day, and there was always so many people coming through this town and wrestling here, and it was just kind of a hotbed. What were your thoughts on wrestling with some of those other legends, like Valentine and Savage and all those people back in those days?
Well, there was a whole bunch that were considered, the legends right now that we all got started pretty much about the same time. I got started in 1977, and Mr. Wonderful, Beefcake, Brian Blair, Hulk Hogan. There was a whole bunch of us who got started, and to be able to wrestle every night. We were so lucky because we were wrestling against guys that from top to bottom in the card could actually be main eventers anywhere in the world, and every match that we had was a great experience. We were learning from the best, and we learned psychology. We learned stuff that to me it's a lost act now. The wrestlers from the present are never going to get the opportunity to learn the knowledge that we had as far as entertainment.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's very interesting there. Let's see here. I got another question here that Chris would like to ask you. Kind of a follow-up on that.
All right. I just wanted to know, was there anybody during that time that you spent in the WWF that you really wanted to work with, but for some reason, one way or another, it just didn't happen?
Well, I wish I would have had a feud against Mr. Wonderful. To me, Mr. Wonderful was the best heel that I had great chemistry with. And he had great heat, and he was a great performer, and I just wanted to give the opportunity, but Mr. Wonderful had a temper on him, and he didn't put up with the promoters, and he would tell them off, and that's the reason that I didn't get the opportunity to have a feud with him. But to me, he was the ultimate heel.
Oh wow,
that's awesome. Hey, did you have a preference on working either as a singles wrestler or more of a tag team?
I preferred being a single wrestler. I thought, I didn't have to rely on anybody else but myself. I was very work conscious. To me, I always took a lot of pride in being a role model, and I wanted to represent of course, the Mexicans all over the country, all the Hispanics all over the world, and I knew that I was going to always be doing the right thing. I took a lot of pride, and I saw a lot of tag teams where, if one of the partners messed up, it would hurt the team. And by me wrestling singles, I knew that the only person I had to worry about was myself, and I knew I was going to be there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That being said, Strike Force, one of the best tag teams ever.
Yeah, when I got the opportunity to team up with Rick Martel and they made us Strike Force, I got teamed up with another first-class guy who was very reliable and very talented, and we had chemistry from day one, and we got over real fast, and I wish it would have lasted longer, but it didn't.
Well, speaking of Strike Force, this kind of leads into something that you also kind of mentioned there a little bit about being Hispanic. And in Strike Force, tag team partner, he was also Canadian. And I think that at that time in WWE history and in wrestling history in general, I think it was really neat that there was a lot of diversity. We had, wrestlers from Canada, Mexico, Iran, Fiji, Russia, all over the place. And I didn't really realize this when I was, that age or during that time because I was a kid. But looking back on it, I think it's pretty amazing how much diversity was in that WWF locker room. Was that, on purpose, or was that just happenstance? Or, was there any type of friction because of the ethnicity thing going on there, or how was the temperature, I guess you could say, in the locker room about that? How was the atmosphere?
Well, I think anybody who's ever played in sports, I don't know if you guys have experiences playing in sports. When you're in a team, everybody gets along. You're a brother, you're a teammate, and everybody's accepted no matter what nationality you are, what color you are, and when the expansion of the WWF started taking place, I was right in the middle of it. I was in the first 9 WrestleManias, and Vince McMahon went the way I saw the picture. He went out and got the best Mexican he could find. He went out and got the best black, who was Junkyard Dog, that he could find. And he went and got the best Canadian, and he went and got the best Iranian, and the best, you're right, he had, you name it, he had it, and yes. There was no animosity, with anybody else. Everybody was a pro, and we were all working for, had one goal, and that was to grow the sport. We took a lot of pride. There were so many great workers back then, that match from one, there were 7 matches, each one of us, we'd go out there with the intent to steal the show. We worked hard.
Awesome. And I think that was kind of indicative of what happened during that time frame. You guys did work hard, and it was, in a lot of ways, tougher than what it is now. What's your opinion of what the current state of wrestling in general is?
Well, it's changed forever. Vince McMahon has come out, and he'll tell you that it's now it's a TV show. When I was wrestling, he also came out and said it was a wrestling show. So there's a big difference. Now they're entertainment. Back then you used to watch an hour show of wrestling, and then you'd see about 40 minutes of wrestling and 20 minutes of interviews. Now you see it's the opposite. Maybe you see 20 minutes of wrestling and then 40 minutes of talking. It's completely different. And then they have writers, and the wrestlers are told what to say, and we just spoke from our heart. It was it's something that we felt. So if somebody tells me to say something, I'm not an actor, so it's hard for it to come across as something that I really felt.
Okay, and that's very true of a lot of the things that have changed about the business. It is a very, very, very different place.
About 20 minutes of wrestling on a 3-hour show.
Right.
Is there a moment or accomplishment that you appreciate more today that you might not have appreciated as much at the time that happened?
Well, when I got inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2004, when the WWE first made contact and they told me that they were going to induct me into the Hall of Fame, I never really realized the importance that it meant to me, along with the fans, for me to get acknowledged as one of the best in professional wrestling. I didn't realize that until the night of the induction, that I got up there, and when I walked into the hotel and I saw all the people that were there from all over the world, and then the reception that I got after I had done speaking, in the induction, it was very, very touching, and it was a moment that I realized the importance of being inducted into the Hall of Fame, how much it meant.
Yeah, it is very, very important now, and there's a certain level of respect that comes along with having the title of WWE Hall of Famer, and it is, I'm talking like I'm a Hall of Famer, but it is something that's very, very high regarded in this day and age, and I think that's pretty awesome that you were given that opportunity to have that title and that you have it now, because you were such a hard worker back in those days, and it was really, really good. Your work was, and we really appreciate it. You know, being a fan, like you were just, talking about, with the fans respecting you and all that. Let's see here. Travis, did you have something you want to bring up?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, do you have, any advice for any new current wrestlers or up-and-coming wrestlers that's making a look, make it better for their career?
If you want something, the only thing that I can say is that you have to go out and get it. And to be patient. There's no substitute for hard work. But success doesn't come overnight. You got to wait for your turn. Doesn't make any difference what sport you're involved in. There's a lot of luck involved. If you I'm going to use the Yankees for example. Throughout the years, if you were a shortstop, you could have been a great shortstop. You were not going to beat Jeter out of his position. So you have to be patient. The same thing when Hogan was the world champion. Vince McMahon wanted Hulk Hogan to be the champion, and you have to be patient. His run ended, and eventually somebody else took over. And patience and luck, and follow your dream. There's no substitute for hard work and luck.
That's
absolutely, yeah.
That's some really, really good advice, and that sounds to me like it's advice that a very knowledgeable coach would give to some of their athletes. And I bring this up because I hear that not only are you a teacher, but you're also a basketball coach now?
Yeah, I coach basketball at the middle school.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How did you get into coaching and into teaching?
I got my degree when I was going to college, so I graduated, and then I went on and played football for a couple of years. I started out with the Chiefs, and then went to Canada, and then I got into professional wrestling, and I did it for 17 years. And so I had my degree, and I didn't know what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And I was still pretty young. I retired from the WWF, and it was my wife who, steered me towards, becoming a teacher, which turned out to be the best thing that I ever did. And when I was in high school, I was actually a better basketball player than I was a football player in high school. So I had experience being a basketball player, and I had the opportunity. The principal at our middle school wanted me to coach wrestling, and I knew professional wrestling. I didn't know amateur wrestling, so I told him I didn't have the experience. I said, so then a couple of days later he came up and he said, how about basketball? And I said, yeah, I know how to play basketball. I mean, I played basketball, and I got into it, and I think I was a very good coach because I could really get the most out of the kids, and the kids enjoy playing for me.
That's pretty cool, and I think that while you're probably more famous and more known for the wrestling, I think maybe the teaching will probably be the more important job, so to speak, touching little kids' lives and, molding them into, citizens and stuff. I think that's really, really cool that you've been able to do that here with your career and with your life, and, just kind of give back, to the community that you're in, and to, all these kids. That's really, really neat.
It was my 8th grade gym coach who to me, he's the one that got me into sports. He introduced me to the freshman football coach. I had never played sports until I was a freshman in high school, and I never forgot that that coach made a big difference in my life. I mean, I could have gone, I could have gone south. I could have gone downhill. But the minute that I got involved with sports, my life changed, and I never forgot the difference that he made in my life, and that's why I decided to major in education, and I had a degree in physical education and in Spanish minor, and I first started out as a gym teacher because I know what he meant to me, so I wanted to do something, touch one of the students, and I know that I've made a difference in a lot of lives already, because I can relate, and care about them. You know, you're not going to BS, even though they're only 8th graders. They know when you care, you know, and they know that I really, truly care for them and try to steer them in the right direction. And I know that I've made a difference throughout the years.
Awesome. That just sounds wonderful that you're doing that now. And, you know, it all stems, we all have that one teacher that we had that was, you know, very inspiring to us, and you had that experience, and now you're inspiring, you know, other kids here, and, you know, that's just great. Let's switch gears a little here, before we wrap it up. Reason why we're having you on here, or well, one of the reasons, is that we're actually going to get a visit from you. You're going to come down here to Houston on the 31st, and you're going to be a part of the Clutch City Productions Sports and Celebrity Super Show on August the 31st. That's what I said, right?
Oh,
I said it.
31st is tomorrow.
Oh, the 31st. Yeah, August the 31st. Right. Sorry. Anyway, you're coming down here for that, and you're going to be signing autographs, and I think that's going to be pretty cool. Do you know, in what capacity people are going to be able to interact with you?
They're going to be able to interact as much as they want. I mean, that's why I still enjoy doing things like that. I'm going to be taking pictures. I'm going to be selling 8x10s, and there's going to be other wrestlers that are going to be there, big-time wrestlers that are going to be there. It's going to be a great opportunity for a lot of fans to come out and meet some of the wrestlers, but I hope they come out and see me and then go see the other guy.
Tell them to go see you first, right?
I do love talking to the fans, and I can't say how many times the fans come up with stories that I had totally forgotten, you know, that they remember. And to me, the fans made me, and it's always so nice to see the joy that they have whenever they get the opportunity to talk to me, you know, and I truly care for the fans, and I don't blow them off. You know, the minute they buy the picture, you know, they want to talk. I'll talk to the fans. I just enjoy hearing stories, and I am so grateful for the support, because, you know, it's the fans that make Tito Santana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very, very true. And, you know, I can't wait to, you know, meet you in person at the end of the month of August. You know, I can't wait to see you out there. Hopefully, our listeners here that are listening to you, they'll want to come run out here and see you. It's going to be at the Pasadena Convention Center, August the 31st through September the 1st. And you can meet yours truly here, Tito Santana, as well as several others. You know, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, X-Pac, Robbie E, and Miss Tessmacher. So far, those are all the people that have been advertised to be there. We might get a few more names, you know, over the course of the month, but it's going to be really, really neat seeing you, and I hope a lot of people come out to see you too, man. Thank you so much for this time, and I can't wait to see you.
I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'm looking forward to coming down. My brother lives 50 miles south of Houston, so I'm going to be. I'm coming down a couple of days early, and I believe my brother's going to be there with me also. So you know, it's a great opportunity to kill two birds with one stone. See my family and come and meet a lot of the wrestling fans in the Houston area.
Indeed, and we look forward to seeing you, man. And thank you so much for your time. I'm very honored that you came onto our humble little show, and you know, good luck on you know, your career with your teaching, and can't wait to see you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Gracias.
Arriba!
Arriba. Gracias.
All right, guys, there you go. Tito Santana. That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
El Ganador. Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Was, I think that was an interesting
Oh,
interview.
definitely,
I think it was
yeah.
pretty fun, and I'm honored to, you know, have him on the show. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, thanks to Tito for doing the interview with us, and thanks to the guys at Clutch City for hooking us up.
Yeah. Clutch City.
Go to the show. Go to the show. Go to the show.
1 weekend only. 1 weekend only. You know, you say it 3 times as opposed to stick in your head.
Mm-hmm,
so that's why you hear the commercials a lot. So yeah, Club City, Club City, Club City.
You need to say it 6 times.
Promotions. There we go.
Clutch City Promotions.
Clutch City Promotions. Clutch City Promotions. Clutch City Promotions.
Productions. Did I say promotions?
Productions.
You said that in the beginning of the show, so I figured it was production.
Well,
Promotions.
I'm just all screwed up now. Aren't I?
Termination.
Okay.
Unemployment.
Yeah.
Fuck.
We'll get it right before the end of the month, right?
No, we won't.
Oy vey. Okay. Well, I think we got a little bit of wrestling to talk about, for
you think so?
This week. Yeah.
Just a little.
A little bit. I don't know. I don't think wrestling was all that good this week. I mean, it was okay. There were some things that developed here and there, but
do you think you're saying that because everything was taped?
No,
I
don't think so. I don't mind it when things are taped. I mean, I watch SmackDown. That doesn't affect whether or not it's good. I mean, if SmackDown's good, it's good despite the fact that it's taped. If SmackDown's bad, it's bad despite the fact that it's taped. Same thing with Impact.
Some people, won't name names, they just don't get excited when it's not live.
Oh.
So, this
why are you staring at my breasts, Travis?
Well, they're just out there, so. Put your shirt back on. Abel, go ahead. What do you want?
I'm distracted now.
I know, because Chris won't put his shirt back on.
I know. Ooh.
What are we gonna do?
What are you gonna do? All right. So yeah, wrestling was kind of blah this week, but I don't know if it's because it was all taped. But Chris would argue that. But what does Chris know?
Nah,
Nothing. So
why do we still have him on here?
I don't know.
Okay. Y'all stuck with me now.
That wasn't part of the deal.
Wait, what was the other end of that deal?
No, that's between y'all two. I don't know.
We'll go over the fine print later.
Low blow.
All right. Well, speaking of low blows. Speaking of low blows, we had Randy Orton get low blowed by a fan today.
And no sold it because there's nothing there. Oh!
Has everybody out there in Radio Land listening to us, has everybody seen this footage? If you haven't, you need to go to YouTube right now and look that up. It's ridiculous. Orton goes to the ring, stands on the corner, and does his little signature pose, and some fan sneaks into the ring, all spy versus spy, hunkered down, Splinter Cell style, sneaks up behind him, and then just gives him a low blow.
And he is not exaggerating. We don't mean sneak as in other times that they've been caught on television and footage where someone just runs up there, goes, and does whatever they want to try to do. This guy took his sweet ass time. He had at least 5 seconds of judgment / brain function / decision / I think I'm gonna do it, maybe, kind of, sort of. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. Let me think about it. Oh, my period's over. I think now I'm ready. This is where I'm gonna hit him. No. Should I hit him on the thigh? No. Should I hit him on the heel? No. Should I try to give him an atomic wedgie? No. Should I try to pull it down? No, because there's nothing there. So then I just low blow him and stay even though there's nothing there. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And then he swings up for it, and then that's it. And Orton just fell to the ground. And for a second, he looked like, oh man, was this part storyline? And then he turned around and was like, this puto? Really?
Yeah. Orton fell off the turnbuckle, fell onto the canvas, and you thought, oh crap, he's really, gonna be hurt. But then he immediately stands up and no-sells it. He no-sold this guy.
Why would he sell it?
Because you're supposed to sell.
He wasn't looking. If for anything, it could have just been somebody ribbing him.
It could have been Justin Gabriel for all we know.
Why, because they're in South Africa?
Yeah, exactly.
Heel turn!
Well, if you look at the footage, if you didn't know what was going on, you'd think it was just some a plant or something in the crowd that's getting in the ring.
Yeah, that took way too long for security to do something about it. He's RKO'd. He should have got RKO'd. Yeah. Forget jail.
What was also interesting about that is that
Wrestler justice.
Yes. After security started dragging him away, we see Big E get involved in all that, and Big E kind of got himself a piece too.
Yeah. Why would you want to start something with that dude?
Yeah,
really?
Well, both Big E and Orton. Why would you want to start anything
Big E more than Orton?
Yeah, well,
Orton's already on strike too, so he couldn't really do anything.
Yeah.
That's probably
you
why.
can hit me.
Why are you hitting yourself? Yeah.
But Big E, I don't know why you would want to mess with that dude.
Yeah, so...
They must have thought he was made of chocolate.
Yeah. I want to get to the caramel center.
Oh, Jesus.
How many licks does it take? 2, 3.
Is that how they do it in South Africa?
Yes, so.
It's the land down under.
What?
What?
No, it's not.
It's not?
No, that's Australia.
It's down there too?
Oh,
No, it's not.
It's below the equator?
almost down under.
Ah, now you're just getting nitpicky.
Okay.
Bastards.
And then after all this, as security is escorting the dude away, Randy Orton flips him off Stone Cold style.
Yeah.
Like, with both hands, like, going back and forth on it, you know. It's ridiculous.
They cut the music after the low blow thinking, oh man, this is part of the show. And then as soon as Orton gets back on the turnbuckle to flip this dude off, oh, by the way, my music. Let's get my music.
Yeah, they brought the music back on again.
Yeah.
But didn't they cancel the match or something? Because he walked away after that. So.
No, it was the end of the match. The match
After the
started.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sexy Ghost. Hey,
You're
we got-
welcome, no problem.
So, yeah, that was wild and crazy. That was probably the best thing that's happened all week.
Yeah.
Well, that says something right there.
Yeah, and hey, it made Randy Orton interesting for once.
Did it?
No.
No?
No, I gotta question. I gotta question that.
No.
Oh boy. So, if you don't think Randy Orton's interesting now, do you think he's going to be interesting with this new development that we had with Vincent K. McMahon at the beginning of Raw?
Well, nothing officially was talked about on TV. It's just fans kind of speculating where this is going to go.
A lot of fans are speculating about what's happening here. Basically, McMahon went out there and said, "I don't want you to D-Bry. I don't want you or Cena to win." Which even kayfabe wise, I kind of find it hard to believe that Vince doesn't want Cena to win.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
why out of all this time?
Yeah.
Why all of a sudden you not want him to be the champion?
yeah, and
He's been champion for like 50 years.
Yes, and he's obviously the face of your company
Yeah.
that makes you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Kayfabe wise, that still doesn't even really make a whole lot of sense. I could see why kayfabe wise he wouldn't want D-Bry to win, but not wanting Cena to win, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
It's like he's trying to do two different character arcs of McMahon's character. He's trying to do the him versus Stone Cold storyline with D-Bry,
Yeah.
but they're also trying to do something else with Cena. Like he just doesn't like him for whatever reason, just because he thinks he's the boss. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
He
that.
thinks he's running this place or something.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it's ridiculous. But what all stemmed from this and all the speculation that was online is basically that, well, the only guy that could walk out of SummerSlam with the title, aside from those two, would be Orton if he cashes in his Money in the Bank. And, like I said, there was a lot of people that came up with this. I'd like to give a shout out to Cody Young, also known as Dashing Nigel Essington from Doomsday Wrestling. He was tweeting about that to me all this morning, about his theory about that going down. And, it's really hard to argue against that. It's very, very, very possible that could be what they're planning on doing. Have D-Bry win it and then Orton cash in. Bam. And Orton will get lots of heat,
Yeah, well, we made that scenario a few weeks ago.
We did.
Yeah,
We
so they're all copying us.
I'm expecting a royalty check somewhere.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Get paid for this shit.
I don't know. What do you think really is the realistic likelihood of this happening?
I had to clear my breath. I had to clear my throat. I wasn't trying to get attention.
Yeah, you were.
That too. I think I'm getting flashbacks of WrestleMania 2000. Do you guys remember that storyline where
McMahon in every corner?
Yeah.
the McMahon in every corner?
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure we're getting Orton. I'm thinking we're getting Orton as a definitive heel on McMahon's side.
Okay.
And then we're getting this part's the toss up because this could go either way, but because of the history that they have, I would put John Cena in Triple H's corner.
Okay.
And since Stephanie's the one that's trying to think out of the box, I'd get Daniel Bryan on team with Stephanie.
Okay.
But it could switch either way. Like Triple H can look at D-Bry and say, "Hey, I think you're the guy," because Triple H is the one that's been
He defended him.
He's pushing for Bryan.
Yeah.
And Stephanie would probably just go for Cena. But either way, like having that dynamic that they had before, I think it's leading to that.
And it gets all the McMahons on TV, which is what they want anyway.
And then Shane will show up with Big Show finally.
Oh, God. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it kind of was a downer. Like how we mentioned on a couple of shows before, having the surprise aspect of the Money in the Bank cash in.
Mm-hmm.
McMahon completely ruined it.
given that that's actually what's going to happen. If that's not what's going to happen, well, then
whether it's at SummerSlam or Night of Champions or Hell in a Cell or Battleground or War Games or Starrcade or whatever they're going to come up with these new pay-per-views, whatever it is, the way McMahon just laid it out like that, he kind of just took the element out.
Yeah. But, I mean, like I said, that's if this is the scenario that they're going to go with, if this is how it's actually going to go down, that, you know, McMahon is pulling for Orton and Orton cashes in and then ta-da, you know. But I want to leave a little bit of room there for faith that that's not what's going to happen. Just hold out hope a little bit.
Yeah, we got, we got some missing pieces of the puzzle here. We got 3 weeks until SummerSlam?
Right.
So there's going to be some more stuff filled in here, but I want to, like you said, I want to take Orton out of the equation. That whole McMahon saying I don't want anyone to win. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm still, you know, thinking that Cena's is going to not get out of there with a title, period.
Yeah.
You know, because at this point it'd be dumb not to give it to D-Bry.
Oh, I know. I mean, D-Bry is still on fire, even though he had this match with Kane that was, you know, it was good. I mean, there's not a such thing as a bad D-Bry match, but it wasn't like the focal point of Raw. You know, it seemed as though WWE felt like this week, okay, D-Bry's over, and, you know, we got him set. Mm-hmm. Let's throw him on the back burner so that we could develop more storyline with McMahon and Cena and all this other stuff. So, you know, it felt like a non-D-Bry week this week.
You know, the past 2 or 3 weeks, they've had D-Bry in 4 or 5 different segments on every show. So, yeah, let's not oversaturate, which that's one of WWE's, that's one of their, weak points, you know, the weaknesses. They don't know when to stop.
Even though he was on 3 times last night, it didn't feel like oversaturation, as opposed to the 3 matches on top of all the other promos and stuff that happened the week before. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So,
well, all this Money in the Bank talk, why don't we talk about the blue briefcase here for a second?
Oh, are we mourning the death of the blue briefcase?
I think so.
Wilson!
That would have been hilarious if he yelled that out.
Yeah, the blue briefcase got tossed into the Gulf of Mexico, which it seems as though a lot. I don't want to say every time, but a lot of the times when WWE shows up in Corpus Christi, something gets tossed into the Gulf of Mexico.
You're right. It's every time.
It's every time.
ECW, SmackDown, Raw. Somebody goes in Corpus Christi every time.
Yeah. Something.
It was usually Eddie or Ray, or Edge,
or Chavo,
or Edge. Yeah.
But this time it was the blue briefcase. Cody just chunked it into the water, and Sandow tried to go after it, and he's like, "Oh, I can't swim."
So let me jump my ass in the water.
Yeah, and didn't get it. So, storyline-wise, I guess we're supposed to believe that now Sandow can't cash in his Money in the Bank because it's at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico.
No, I don't believe it. I'm not agreeing with that one.
Okay.
I've never accepted the fact that they have to have the whole fucking briefcase to cash in. There's a contract inside it.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it's something that could be reprinted. It's just a piece of paper.
Well, every time that the briefcase has been cashed in, haven't they used the briefcase to hand it to the referee?
That's what I'm saying. It's a whole fucking briefcase, but it's not, the briefcase itself is not the contract.
Well, yeah, the briefcase contains the contract, and presumably the contract is still inside the briefcase, which is at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico. So if you don't have the legal document to say I want my title match, then I guess that means you don't have your title match. It's not so much the briefcase.
That'd be an interesting take on it. Something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To not have a SmackDown Money in the Bank.
Do you think they'll go that route though?
Hell no.
No.
Would be nice though. It'd be something out there.
How would they recover from that situation?
What I would like to see is Sandow go up to somebody of authority, like, Vince or Triple H, or hell, even one of the general managers, Vicky or Brad Maddox, and be like, hey, I won this match. I'm supposed to have the reward from the match. I don't have the physical piece of paper, but, can I still get my reward? Can I still get another one printed out?
That sounds too
like
civil.
That?
That's too civil.
And then Vicky's like, you know what? Ink and paper is expensive, and we got to get you another briefcase. So I'll go through all that effort if you defend it against Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam.
Okay. And then Cody wins. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, could work.
Yeah. I want something to happen with the fact that
Well, wait a minute, y'all
in the deep
went
blue
to SmackDown in Houston.
Yes.
Did they do anything with that storyline?
Well, again, don't want to get into spoilers.
But did they?
Well, this isn't really a spoiler because it's not an outcome to a match or anything, but he did not have the briefcase at the show.
Right. They showed the
Incident.
they showed the review, the replay of
him,
Cody throwing it out,
Okay.
and when Damian came out, he still was sans
Okay.
briefcase.
Okay, and we still got 3 weeks until SummerSlam, so
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'd like to see there be some continuity there with Sandow saying, "Hey, I don't have my briefcase, but I'm still Mr. Money in the Bank."
But more importantly, can we get more of Crazy Psycho Sandow?
Yes.
God, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That was gold, and
Yeah.
he's showing a little bit more depth of his character, a little bit more range to his character,
Yeah.
and I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, more of that. Yeah, and then what was that one scene? It was backstage when he ran into Booker and
Mark Henry.
yeah, and he said, "Hey, you're not the general manager anymore." He's gonna start.
What? Mark Henry's like, "Dog, get out of here."
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. So that's one positive from this week. Maybe there's more positives than I think there are. Let's get
You're a very negative person, Abel.
well.
That's what everybody tells you in life.
Yeah, I know. But here's something that I thought was going to be a positive, and all the way up until the end, I thought it was. I even was tempted to call this a match of the week candidate, but not so much because of the ending. RVD versus Fandango.
Da, 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 da. Y'all bastards aren't singing along.
No, Chris. Bad Chris. Bad Chris.
Bad Mark. Bad Mark.
Bad Mark. Yes. Anyway.
Some kind of joint.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, this match was solid all the way through. There's a lot of nice little exchanges here and there. RVD was doing all his flippy dippies, and Fandango was trying to keep up with those and do his own little cool moves here and there. Especially that one where he's on the apron and he kicks somebody in the head. I kind of liked it. I really did. But then the ending just kind of fell flat. And yes, listen. I know that it's Fandango's thing. It's his gimmick to just kind of walk out on matches. I get it. I understand. But when he did walk out on this match, I was just so disappointed because I kind of wanted to see more from this match and have like an actual feud come of it. I'm not sure if Fandango walking out on RVD automatically means we're going to have a Fandango versus RVD feud because he's walked out on everybody and he hasn't started.
No, and RVD didn't really care.
Yeah, so it kind of fell flat. So it's like, what was the point? The point was just having Fandango and RVD on TV and that's it. I mean, God, throw one of these guys a bone. Give them something else to do,
Speaking of which, I think I mentioned this last week or the week before, but, now that RVD's back and he's kind of been here for a few weeks, think we're going anywhere with him as far as a feud?
No, and that's my point exactly. They haven't done anything with him, really.
I kind of want to say the same thing for Christian, too.
Right, yeah, up to date, yes, same thing, yeah. Neither one of them really done a whole lot of stuff, and I just kind of want to see them pick up something for them to give them some kind of programs.
I think Christian will be alright. Just give him a couple more days.
Days.
He'll be alright. Yeah.
I've heard things, it's alright.
RVD, though, he's kind of fallen in that category that Chris Jericho was when he just came back.
Right.
The only thing he did as soon as he came back, he put over Fandango. And then he was just in monotonous matches.
Yeah.
And he didn't win any of them. Or maybe one. And then he's gone.
It was like Jericho was doing like a farewell tour or something where he's just having matches with guys he wanted to have matches with.
Yeah.
So this could be something with RVD too. He just wanted to just maybe come back to do some matches, be done with it. But hopefully we'll get some kind of storyline with him.
I want to see a good storyline. I want to see a good feud, a good final hurrah, if you will.
But you know what? In his past runs, think about like what are some really big feuds that RVD's done in WWE.
Oh my god!
Like really big, like something. That you think of one right now.
Him and Cena
for the title.
Yeah,
that's it.
I was going further back. RVD, young Randy Orton for the Intercontinental title. They had some badass matches. When Orton did that, when RVD was on the top rope and Orton low blowed him, and then he would do the DDT on RVD while he was still on the top rope, like his legs still up there. I still have vivid images of how sick that looked, and he sells those like
like
atomic bombs. So, but he's had better feuds. He had a lot better feuds when he first came into WWE as opposed to towards the end of his WWE.
Yeah, because it seems like towards the end he was just having matches. He was like maybe little mini feuds here and there, but nothing.
Pre-injury, he had better matches. Once he came back and that one night stand from his injury and did and won the briefcase, I think that's where it kind of floundered a bit. His
towards the end of his first run, yeah.
Then he got busted for weed. Then he came back and
on the top when he was WWE and ECW champion. You fucker! I'm still pissed off at him like that.
Yeah,
that was pretty boneheaded.
And I think it was hard for him to come back after that.
Yeah,
like I don't think it's ever. I'd be shocked if he ever got anywhere near the height that he was in his career.
Oh, he won't. I don't see it, but
yeah, I think since Jericho went on tour, they just need to fill that void of veteran guy who's over no matter what to
nostalgia.
give.
Interesting. You think that's the reason they brought him back? Because Jericho was leaving?
Well, I don't know if that's the exclusive reason, but I think the reason why they're putting him in his spot is because, well, that spot needed to be filled of being the guy that's going to put over all your younger talent who,
That's what Christian was for.
Well, we'll see about Christian, but...
it paid. I mean, it's paid off so far. Not spoiling anything in general, but I can tell you for a fact we weren't planning on going to SmackDown until RVD was announced at the show.
Right.
And like the week before that they announced it, there were still like tickets on the floor.
Yeah.
And we've been to enough SmackDown tapings where half of the building is tapered off, and then all the sections on the top are tapered off. And then as soon as
it wasn't like that this week.
This week it was 97% sold out.
Yeah.
Like everything. There were no black curtains. Nothing was covered up. Even the hard camera side where there's normally sections that are tapered off so that people won't interfere with the camera. All that was packed. Everything. And I know that it wouldn't have been like that if, oh my God, Sin Cara's coming. Ooh, que puto. No. RVD announcement.
I don't know.
Well, that and maybe also the fact that they advertised that Punk was going to be at that show.
But that was maybe a week and a half before the show.
I'm going to more side with Punk because I love RVD. But I'm not going to say he was the reason for them selling out.
The last time SmackDown came was when Punk and Christian had the main event, and there were sections tapered off. Mm-hmm. RVD showed up, and it was all packed.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe the business is a little bit different since last time they came here. I don't know. It's hard to think that RVD's the...
Well, either way, it was still, a pretty...
Which is good. It's good that it was a packed show. It was good that it was almost sold out.
Yeah, it was almost sold out. But
and it was sad you weren't there.
I know. If someone had asked before they bought tickets, I probably would have...
Freaking Abel.
Freaking Chris.
Yeah, to blame each other.
Yeah.
In related news, TLC's coming.
Right.
In December. So now you have no excuse.
Yeah. Travis.
Jerk. They go on sale towards the end of September. If you didn't get your pre-sale that you found out at the end of the show, like someone predicted.
Yeah. September is when I have my birthday, so that's when tickets go on sale. Also at the end of September.
Yeah.
So you want to? Well, you saying?
So you want to go see Bruno Mars? Is that it?
No.
No. You want us to take you to the Bear, huh?
Oh. Well, maybe.
You want a tour of the Oscar Mayer factory, don't you?
Yes! That's it. That's it right there. You hit it right on the head there. There you go.
Yeah.
God, I hate you.
He wants to ride in the Weenie Mobile.
And not in the driver's seat.
He wants it in the back seat.
Not in the back seat either.
Oh, God, I hate you guys.
He'll be at the tip of the wiener at the end.
Woo!
Hanging off the end of it.
With his mouth open going,
Screw you guys, man. I hate you.
Good night, everybody.
Alright, was that it for that we were talking about? That was kind of a tangent there, just talking about the SmackDown taping that we said we weren't going to talk about.
RVD, SmackDown, wieners.
Right.
Yeah, consistency.
Welcome to Houston.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Let's talk about something else from this past week on WWE programming.
Did it make sense?
Yeah. The Wyatt family.
Ooh.
Attacking Kane.
Again.
Right. And how do you guys feel about the Wyatt family right now?
I'm the same as they were when they debuted. I'm waiting for something interesting to happen with them. I don't know. I want to hear more explanations, more promos from Bray.
Okay. Chris?
I still want to hear an explanation. They still haven't.
Exactly.
Still haven't made it clear to me
that's kind of what I'm
why
saying.
Kane out of all the people.
Or just anything. I mean, why are they there in the first place?
Yeah, why are they there in the first place? Why are they attacking Kane? I mean, we get... You know, for all of the hype that goes into it, I think it's falling a little flat.
I think so, it is.
And I hesitate to say that because there's so many people out there that are still behind this. You know, still being apologists for the Wyatts, if you will. You know, they want to say, oh no, this is the best thing. You know, this is the best thing WWE's got going. Bringing them up to the main roster is gold, and it's going to be awesome. But thus far, we haven't really seen a whole lot, other than the fact that for some reason they don't like Kane. And, you know, there's speculation, oh, they're going to recruit him to be part of the Wyatts. Oh, maybe there was some sort of history with them, or they're just picking on him because he's the biggest dog in the yard. Or, you know, there's just like a lot of speculation. And on TV, kayfabe-wise, they haven't addressed it at all. It's just like these 3 new guys who are creepy, who have cool vignettes. They are cool.
Yeah.
They're just going to show up and beat up Kane. And when he does cut promos, when Bray cuts promos, they're cool and creepy, but they don't make any damn sense.
It isn't further the plot. It doesn't further the story of why they're there.
Yeah, it just solidifies the fact that they're creepy.
Yeah, like I said, storyline-wise, why are they there? We have no idea why. Well, what do they do? They keep saying they're coming. They're here, and okay. Yeah, why? Well,
right.
You know, do you think? You know, and I think another reason it might have fell flat a little bit is because I believe the general perception was that this was going to be a 3-man group, where it's actually his cousins or whatever, the family members or the wrestlers as a tag team. He's like the mouthpiece. He's the manager. You know, and I think a lot of people were thinking it was going to be like a 3-man group like Shield or 3MB or something, whereas all 3 of them, you know, interact and do matches, whatever. He doesn't really do anything. He just kind of sits back and just watches.
Right.
So do you think that had an effect on after the hype and everything?
Maybe a little.
Because I know the people that watching NXT, they knew what was going on.
Yeah, they knew, and most of the people that were hyping it up were people that were fans of them from NXT. So that doesn't bother me as much. And even if I didn't know that, it still doesn't bother me as much as one main guy and his 2 minions. Like that I don't see that as a fault of theirs. Okay. Because I could see that could still be interesting. But as of right now, it feels as though WWE is taking too much time developing the actual character instead of furthering the storyline. Like, we understand they're creepy, they're backwoodsy kind of cult type thing. Mm-hmm. You know, Bray's the leader, the other 2 are kind of their followers. Like we get that about their character, but it feels like the last 3 weeks is WWE trying to establish that that's their character. And it's like, you don't need to do that. That's already established. We know who they are. Now use that character in a story. And they have yet to do that. Chris, you've been looking like you want to say something. Say something.
I guess I'm going to try my best to tie 2 ends together.
Calm down, Abel. Jesus. See, you can't say something like that.
I think when the Wyatts were first brought in, rumor had it that the match at SummerSlam would be the Wyatt team against Kane and The Undertaker.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they're 100% sure whether The Undertaker's physically ready to go to SummerSlam.
Fair.
So when you have something that's not all there, that you can't really build on the story, on a certain aspect or a dimension of a story, if that dimension's not going to be there, it kind of puts a hold on things. I think that's this. If that's the reason, that's where they're at. It kind of makes sense. To another point, we talked about it from the beginning. It might not just be coincidence that RVD debuted the same week as the Wyatt family did. If they're trying to do the Brothers of Destruction and they can't do it because Taker's not ready. If you can't do Team Hell No because that story's already set sail and Bryan's already off in the heavyweight title picture, who's left on the roster that has a history with Kane as a tag team?
RVD.
Dan.
Yeah, true.
Tag team champions.
Yeah.
So you think RVD and Kane
I think RVD
against the
and
Wyatts?
Kane, yeah.
I could see that. That might work. I don't know if it's suitable replacement for Undertaker, but I mean, it's the best that they got, so why the hell not? I think it's going to be kind of hard for them to tie that together within 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, because RVD's doing his own thing.
We just talked about it. RVD's not doing a thing. He's doing his own thing, but that own thing is nothing.
It only took one episode out of nowhere after a pay-per-view to make Daniel Bryan the number 1 contender. It only takes one episode to have RVD come in the back and say, "Bro, what the hell? You need backup? You know I'm here for you. That's all it takes, just one episode."
It only took one episode for the Shield to attack Mark Henry and turn Mark Henry face.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if somehow, some way on the next episode of Raw, Kane and RVD are backstage together and they all get attacked by the Wyatts, it could work. I mean, but still, I don't know. It's kind of
because there's no way. There's no way that
short.
There's no way that they're building up to a 2-on-1 match between Kane and the Wyatts or a 3-on-1 match between Kane and the Wyatts. He has to have some sort of backup.
Yeah.
And no offense, R-Truth and Kane, the fuck no. Just because R-Truth got jumped doesn't mean that we're gonna just pair Kane and R-Truth together. There's no.
Nobody cares about R-Truth.
Yeah. There's no connect. There's no history. There's nothing there to really invest in these two getting together, like, oh, this is going to work. So the only plausible ones would be Undertaker, D-Bry, and now that RVD's back in the fold, RVD.
Okay. I could buy that. Hopefully, that's what WWE is thinking, because at this point, it's just speculation, and that's, at best, fantasy booking.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I just really want for them to do something interesting with Kane. The same way how I want them to do something interesting with Orton. This stuff that we were talking about, I mean, I hate to, backtrack that much, but I mean, the stuff that we were talking about with Orton earlier, I don't care if he turns heel, I don't care if he turns face, I want him to turn interesting. And having him cash in at SummerSlam, with it being so telegraphed, so to speak, because of what McMahon did, that's not going to be interesting. Yeah, it might get him heat, but it's not going to get him interesting. That's what he needs. He's going to be Blandy Morton. I think
that's the other reason why it kind of killed the mood for me, because I don't think that Orton would get as much heat now that McMahon kind of like let the idea out of the bag as opposed to letting it happen organically at the show.
Yes.
And then hell, the next night, or even like WrestleMania 17, have McMahon come out afterwards and raise Orton's hand and approve.
He sold his soul to the devil.
Approve Orton as the guy that McMahon wants, the instant heat, like super heat, as opposed to just letting it out now, saying, "Oh, I don't want either one of you to win. Who's left?"
Yeah.
Maybe they did it on purpose just to make you think that the Orton thing's going to happen.
To tease us.
Yeah.
To tease us into thinking that.
To get Chris all.
Yeah, but sometimes when you tease and you don't like what you see, why are you going to watch the rest of it?
Yeah.
That can backfire just as easily, depending on who it is. And having it with Orton in the position that he was, I'd be very careful and make sure that I don't slip something that people will already not want to see before I let the whole thing out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, if you're going with what Abel said, I mean, he's on 2 strikes. They ain't going to give him the title.
That's true.
Want to make him interesting? Let him get his 3rd strike and get the hell out of it.
All right. I can't think of anything else from regular WWE programming to talk about. So let's talk about new WWE programming.
Wait, before we get into that.
Okay.
I did want to mention one thing because Chris pointed out last week about the crowd, about the way they chant yes compared to Cena sucks or whatever, the case may be. If you watch this past Raw, when Cena and D-Bry were in the ring, it was all yes chants.
Yeah.
There was no...
Cena sucks.
There's no Cena chants at all.
Yeah.
It was all yes chants. Yeah. That says something right there.
Yeah.
I think
we're getting there.
Yeah, I think we are. I think we are getting there.
Yes. Okay, then let me throw this out there to you guys. Would it be a momentum killer to have all this for Daniel Bryan and him lose at SummerSlam?
Yes.
To Cena. Cash it in, whatever. But if he loses one-on-one to Cena at SummerSlam, does that kill all the momentum that's gone on
I think
so far?
so.
Not all, but
it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt.
Enough to lose interest?
It depends who you are. If you're a casual fan, if you're a kid, then yeah. But if you're, you know, a member of the IWC, someone like us, hardcores, then we'll lose a little bit of interest. We'll be like,
we'll get more pissed off than anything.
Yeah, we'll get pissed, but we'll still like D-Bry.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, the fever pitch that it's at now is definitely gonna go down. I just pulled a trick out of your book there with the fart sound. Sorry.
Do you, you know, y'all caught that on the backstage segment when Stephanie's talking about corporate makeover for D-Bry?
Oh god, that'd be so horrible. He doesn't need a corporate makeover. He's fine just the way he is. Ah, Jesus.
When was the last corporate makeover?
Foley?
I'm thinking that's the first thing that came to my head.
Before Foley.
Before Foley?
Yeah.
Austin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This could be.
Oh, you think he's gonna just fake it?
Yeah.
And just like rip the tux off or whatever he's gonna wear?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or we can get silly D-Bry with the slick curly Q hair.
Wasn't there something on the website where you can actually go on WWE.com and you can
shave
shave
him?
Daniel Bryan? Oh, yeah.
But do you think
And you were so disappointed because they only showed his face, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, seriously though, do you think they're gonna shave the beard? Do you think they get rid of that?
No, and here's why. They just made that damn shirt.
Yeah.
They're making money off the fact that he has this crazy beard, you know, with that respect the beard shirt. It'd be really stupid for them to, shave it off and then, now we have all these shirts. Let's make a sale on WWE.com and clearance them out. Like, that'd be dumb.
Dolph Ziggler has like 15 shirts.
Yeah.
Buy one, get 4 free on WWEshop.com.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, that was another thing.
From a marketing standpoint, it doesn't make sense.
I just said Dolph Ziggler. That reminded me. He was really good on SmackDown.
Was he? What did he do?
Did you not watch SmackDown?
No, I didn't.
Right.
Was that the segment where AJ was going through her briefcase and Dolph's like, I can't sweat that. Like, what?
Yeah.
Really?
So blowing her off
The
everything.
crowd started chanting, "You're a psycho."
Yeah.
Oh man, that segment on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I forgot I watched SmackDown. Yeah, that was a lot of good stuff. The Ziggler segment was really good.
Yeah. Something about Ziggler on that mic, dude. He was just like, he was hitting all points. His reactions to what she was doing.
What did throw me off? Not so much the wrestling. The whole schedule of the tapings. We could have done at least, because Monday was Raw, and then Tuesday was next week's Raw, and then Wednesday was SmackDown, and then the Thursday SmackDown we went to was the next week's SmackDown. Right. So as a fan being there live, this was the first time that I had no idea what the fuck was going on because we didn't see the stuff that happened before. Right.
Correct.
We saw the Cody Rhodes throwing the briefcase in before the rest of the general populace did.
Right.
And then all the other matches, we had no build to why they were happening. And watching the order, it kind of did look like something didn't, like some of the story just didn't feel right because of the timing. Because I think the segment on last Raw should have happened on SmackDown. And the segment on SmackDown with AJ going nuts through Ziggler's stuff, as good as that segment was, would have made more sense if that happened on last night's Raw. Like having the tapings the way they were, they could have just done Raw and SmackDown. That way they could have had that week settled and taken care of.
Yeah.
And then the next week's tapings, let's start with Raw on Wednesday and then do the SmackDown on Thursday. So continuity wise, everything's done. Instead of going back and forth. The episodes was like predicting stuff before it even happened because the way the schedule was set up, it kind of watching some of the episode, I can see where the time lapse where some of the stuff was off. I don't even know if you guys caught it, the opening segment of SmackDown where Sandow came out and he held up the briefcase. The briefcase was dripping.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
The briefcase was dripping. So I don't know if that was Sandow like getting a bottle of water like some wrestlers, they just wet themselves with the bottle of water and he happened to have the briefcase while he was holding it, or if they had taped Sandow, clothes on, thrown in the water with the briefcase wet, and then since he's already wet, let's take all his clothes off and throw him in his wrestling gear, and then we do the segment of him coming out and wrestling with Orton. Because I
have to go back and look at it.
You have to go back and look at it, because when I caught it, I was like, wait a minute. I know the scheduling of the days are off, but this looks really weird, having that happen.
Well, it's not unheard of that they film like outside arena shit earlier on different days, So it could be a possibility, but it's still weird that they would let that slip.
The whole scheduling of the shows was just, when I first saw the schedule, we were looking at the Texas tour. I was like, wait a minute, two Raws back to back and 2 SmackDowns back to back.
Yeah, I imagine some writer or backstage road agent guy probably had a tough week this week trying to keep up with. Hey, was this segment supposed to be on SmackDown? No, it's supposed to be on Raw. Wait, which Raw? No, this one for this week. This week, not this. Yeah, I can imagine.
You're fired.
Yeah,
The show already happened. We haven't seen this week's. The people haven't seen this week's show coming up. But last SmackDown that passed, there was actually a Fandango versus CM Punk match that never aired.
No, that's going to be on this week's.
That also happened last week.
Really?
On the last taping.
Oh, okay.
But for some reason it just didn't air or they cut it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, and now that I mentioned it, this leads me to another thing. I don't know if you got the vibe from the Impact because you DVR'd it and you watched it. But for a taped episode, there's a difference between SmackDown being taped on Tuesday because you're watching it 3 days later as opposed to a Raw that's almost a week old. In your guys' opinions, did the card look pretty stacked for a taped episode of Raw? Henry and Usos against The Shield.
Yeah.
D-Bry versus Kane. Tables match between Cena versus Ryback.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't that sound a little too heavy for a tape show as opposed to something that would either be on a pay-per-view or live as it's going on?
I don't know.
To make people watch it. Oh, it's taped. I don't want to watch it. I already know what happens. As opposed to,
That's
it's
just you,
taped,
Chris.
but you'd be surprised.
Oh, no.
It's taped, but you
It's
gotta watch
taped,
that
but
match.
hey,
Yeah.
holy shit, they're going to end the D-Bry Kane feud tonight. Oh, crap. We're getting a paper. I thought Usos and Mark Henry against the Shield was like booked for SummerSlam, ready to go. That'd be perfect SummerSlam match.
Mm-hmm.
We got Ziggler Big E on Raw.
Yeah.
You know, that's another match. Like, oh man, that could have been easily SummerSlam. Like it felt like we almost got half a SummerSlam on a taped episode of Raw.
It might still be on SummerSlam.
We might get some rematches, which kind
And
of
then
sucks.
the Divas title defense on or the Divas match again on Raw. It felt like they were trying to get people to watch because they already knew it happened.
Yeah.
So it happened, but look, we got good stuff.
Yeah.
This is it.
I don't understand the mystique of a show being live. You know, for some reason people think that, oh, well, if it's live, it's higher quality. Where, you know, there might be some inherent nature of that where it's like, oh, somebody could screw up or somebody could have a nip slip and you never know what's going to happen because it's live. Well, there's that element to it. I don't think that, generally speaking, overall, a show is going to be better or worse because it's live or taped. You know, so I don't really understand why that mystique is there, you know?
I think part of it is if it's a tape show and if you don't hear anything about it from anybody, you know, like on the message boards or whatever, it's like, oh, okay.
If you avoid the spoilers.
Not even that.
Okay.
It's because if it's a good show and it's taped, people are going to be talking about it. Like, you got to watch this show, you know, and if you don't get that vibe from a tape show, you're like, oh, okay, well, nothing's really getting you going to watch the show. And I think that's part of the reasons why back in the day WWE would spoil like SmackDown, like when they do like a title
like
change.
when Del Rio won the title.
It's a tape show, something big happens, so they're going to tell you about it to make sure you watch it. You know, I think that has something to do with it, you know.
I think for me, I just like a genuine show. I don't want to watch a SmackDown taping where we were in the audience and we booed the hell out of Cena, and then they play it a week later where they have the benefit of editing and overdubbing and cutting and this mistake that you could have caught live on Raw, or hey look, this real reaction you could have caught on Raw was overproduced and over edited over the week to SmackDown to make it sound pretty. Like really, a friend of mine posted on Facebook did the Divas really get that big of a reaction on Raw? You know, just like almost every episode of Impact when it was taped, where they're like, oh my god, this wrestler comes in and they hit the music and you hear this loud pop, and then when you look at the crowd, you hear the loud pop and you see people turning around, people scratching their ass, and people put a finger in their mouth, they're talking on the phone. Like the visual does not match the audio, and that throws me off a lot. And I'd rather be at a show live, knowing that it happened, knowing what really happened, as opposed to something getting cut up and moved around and prettied up later.
And that aspect of it will really interest me to see what's gonna be the finished product on SmackDown this week, because I think that the Austin crowd for Raw was a lot better than our crowd here in Houston. Not saying that we had a bad crowd for SmackDown. We just could have had a better crowd. But
you will in post-production.
Yeah, exactly. But I will like to see what the reactions were like for, you know, Punk and RVD and Christian and, you know, everybody that was up and down the card. Because there are some people that we cheered for that we, you know, shouldn't have cheered for, you know. And so I like to see how that turns out, you know.
Look at you, bunch of selfish marks. It's not about you. It's about the product.
Shit, the product is for me, so it is about me.
You know, Cena and all them are always saying it's about the people here, you know. So.
It's not about the people.
Yeah. Well, okay. Done?
Okay. What's next?
Okay. Total Divas.
Yeah, we were supposed to talk about that until we went off on another tangent.
Yeah. Total Divas. Let's talk a little bit about this show here. You want to talk about scripted and fake and all that. I think there's several elements to this show that was like that.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Let me go on the record to say I was already burning this show before it even happened because of what we saw before. Anybody that's listened to this podcast, the 5 of you, saw how badly I did not want this show to happen. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to try to watch it. So
last week you said you're going to take one for the team and you're going to watch it.
I was going to watch it.
Did you actually watch it?
Building up to that.
That means no.
Let the man speak.
I've been a little personal. I've been having nightmares for the last couple of weeks. So I try to find sleep whenever I can get it. It doesn't help watching wrestling in my nephew's room when he has a bed and I'm tired as fuck. So I slept through a lot of Raw. And when I realized on Sunday that the Diva show was an hour long, I said, I can't even make it through there. But I did catch the benefit of it being on USA after Raw on Monday.
Right.
I did catch the first segment before my intelligence, my body, my head completely tapped out to whatever sleep I could get. I was actually pleasantly surprised with the first segment I saw.
Okay.
They introduced the Divas with they introduced the whole something about Daniel Bryan on television. You know, like I'll watch any match with CM Punk just because it's CM Punk, or I'll give Samoa Joe the benefit of the doubt anytime, whether he has boxers shorts or a penis.
Whether he's Sofa Joe,
Samoa Joe, Machete Joe, whatever.
Right,
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because at the end of the day, it's Joe.
Right.
Yeah.
The first I don't know where the fake part was in the show, but the first segment of the show was actually pretty decent. And I actually felt a little bad when I went to bed because I kind of wanted to watch where the train wreck was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like I was actually willing to keep watching to see where the first episode went. It's on E, so they'll replay it like 6,000 times in the first week, and then it'll be on demand.
Hell, WWE will play it 6,000 times.
And WWE will play it. So I'll catch it sooner or later.
Okay.
But at least it kept my attention for as long as it could have physically.
It was
that being said, did you watch it?
Yeah.
You did.
It was
okay, and I watched it too. I watched it from start to finish.
Yeah.
After Raw.
Well, I'm sure you love it. It's about divas, but it was a train wreck. I couldn't stop watching.
Right?
The whole thing. It's like, God, this is terrible. What's happening next?
That's half of E's programming. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how. As much as I don't like the shows that they have on there, when I have to watch them, I actually pay attention and I watch them because it's like the wreck that keeps wrecking.
Yeah.
You know, like the Titanic could hit the bottom and it'll still keep digging into the earth and you'll still watch.
It was so bad, so fake. I was like, why am I watching this? What's happening next?
Yeah. So, now, when I brought all this up, I said some of it seems scripted, and it's true. Some of it does, but I think that some of it also is not quite scripted. Yeah. Like maybe they just went off of what really happened anyway, or this really happened. Let's just put it into the show. For example, all the stuff with with Tons of Funk and everybody getting bumped off of WrestleMania. I mean, that all did happen, and we all were like, oh, why did this match get bumped off of WrestleMania? And it was a big deal.
A casual crowd would have never known that had they not watched the show. They would have never known that of the bumping of the match. Yeah,
and since that actually did happen and they incorporated it into the show, I was thinking, well, either one, this is 6 months, however much, 4 months that we're away from WrestleMania now.
Yeah.
So 4 months after the fact, WWE decided that, this would be a good way to script this and to use what actually happened to form this show. Or it could have been, this is what actually happened and we documented it anyway.
To its credit, and this is only coming from the first scene I saw, from the beginning of the show to where the first commercial break to my first snore. And what I saw, there was more development in some of the divas than there has been on WWE television in the last year. The way Natalia was upset about how they were bumped off the way Natalia was upset that she had to babysit the new guys.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's like, oh, hey, I invited my family over here. Now I have to tell them, oh, I'm not on the card, and not only that, I'm stuck babysitting Dumb and Dumber over here. And then, just the interaction between, the Bella and Daniel Bryan together. Yeah. And then just insight on them. Like we haven't gotten that kind of insight since like NXT that the Divas had, and even then that wasn't a lot. Right. So in that aspect, this could actually do the Divas a little bit of good. Mm-hmm. Now, how much of that gets derailed through the scripted part or the shock value part remains to be seen from what I haven't seen, which you guys could probably fill in the blank. But that's probably the part that kept my attention to where, oh man, you know what? I want to try to stay awake to see what happens next, which I didn't. Well,
the parts that I thought weren't quite as scripted, I appreciated. You know, like I mentioned, the Bellas getting bumped from, or everybody.
The 8-man tag.
That match getting bumped for WrestleMania and them documenting that. Like, I'm not sure if that was quite as scripted. The stuff with D-Bry and whichever Bella he has, with them, looking for rings and wanting to take their relationship to the next level. Like, that was cool. But like when Eva Marie was told that she was gonna dye her hair blonde, and instead of dyeing it blonde, she decided, screw WWE, I'm gonna dye it red, and then WWE being cool with it. Yeah. Like, that seemed overly scripted. Like, God, that had to have been scripted, like, 100%.
The fact that a hair color was the focal point of her character that was like a serious topic of the show. Yeah. They went to commercial breaks and came back, and what is she gonna do? It's like,
that was pretty ridiculous.
Is that the most drama we're gonna get off the show's hair color?
It was pretty ridiculous, and that part was pretty scripted. But the aspects of it, what I'm trying to say is the few aspects of it that aren't as scripted, I think redeems the show a little bit. And hopefully they go the route of being a little bit more realistic than being more scripted. Because, I mean, a good example of a show that's not that good because it's overly scripted is Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. Like, if they took Gene Simmons' Family Jewels and, like, just really were real about it, like, it'd probably be a little bit better. I'm sure Gene Simmons' life is entertaining and interesting enough that you don't need to do all the scripted bullshit. And the scripted bullshit is what makes that show bad. And I kind of feel like maybe that could be applied here to this show. There's parts of it that could be redeeming, parts of it that could be interesting. You see more character development with some of the divas and some of the girls. And hell, even some of the other actual wrestlers backstage, like Jimmy Uso and Brodus Clay and John Cena and Daniel Bryan. Like, you're seeing other aspects of them and the divas. Like, I think that will make it interesting. So for right now, it's kind of 50-50. Some things are good, some things are bad.
Yeah. I think you're giving it a lot more credit than I would, but
and to add to that, not just hearing the situation, you might think that it's a mundane detail, but people that in the back that are creating these characters and these superstars, if you have a tattoo the wrong way, they won't use you. Mm-hmm. If you have a piercing the wrong way, they won't use you. If for some reason you don't look exactly the way the mold is supposed to look, they will throw you out. So for a casual person to just say, "Oh yeah, this is the reason that we're going to commercial break. This is the turning point of the show." For the casual person, it will be one thing, but anybody that has watched the wrestling enough, or like us, to know backstage stuff or to know how things work, I would actually be interested in watching that. Yeah. So hearing more aspects like that actually further make me want to try to make more of an effort to watch the show. That which I wouldn't have said 2 weeks ago. Y'all heard what I said 3 weeks ago, So
I just hope that WWE will make more of an effort to put more quality into the show and not phone it in and just have some scripted bullshit and that's it. Like, if they were to actually have and show the lives of these people and what they do, because their lives are different than everybody else's. You don't
Cena's
need to
completely different from what you see on TV. Like,
yeah,
he's like mellowed out. He's like,
yeah. And Cena cusses.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to bleep him out a couple of times on the show. That was interesting. It's like, oh my god.
It sounds like there's not to sound petty or come from a petty point of view, but it sounds like they throw enough bones to the hardcore wrestling fan to make it more tolerable for them to put up with it when the hardcore wrestling fan's girlfriend or wife is wanting to really watch the show for whatever reason she wants to watch it.
Okay.
I think there's enough aspects, and I think there might be enough aspects.
I'll give you credit on that.
At least in the first episode.
I'll give you credit on that.
At least in the first episode,
to get us to watch it.
There's enough bones to get us to put up with it. And sometimes when you put up with it enough, you'll start to follow the routine of, oh man, you know what? I think Total Divas is on tonight. We need to get together and watch it. You know, or it'll stay in your mind as opposed to the wife telling you, hey, come on, you gotta go watch it. You're already like, hey, you know. Divas, you know, we get another chance to see Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So
it was cool to see D-Bro on there. So
yeah.
Go ahead, Troy.
Well, if WB can capitalize on this, and if they can use elements from the show to further their show, I can get behind it. Case in point, the Brodus Clay thing.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really. You didn't see it, but on the show. They show the Funkadactyls come out here and Naomi, Cameron, she's crying and everything, and she's going to her boyfriend, and she said that, oh, brother says I suck in the ring, and all that, and that her boyfriend was ready to go kick his ass. And, yeah, it was bullshit. But the fact that they made Brodus out to be like the bad guy in this whole situation, I was like, now if they can capitalize on that, and then like next time we come back from the tour and they're back on live shows again, like they have the Funkadactyls and tons of funk in the ring, and you start to see some friction. Like you can like incorporate now that we know there's some maybe some friction between them.
That would be a little tricky to pull. Me as a wrestling fan, that's what made it hard for me to try to get into Ring of Honor, because they would tape their shows like 6 months in advance, and then in between all the tapings, oh, here's a live pay-per-view, and then we'll keep going with the rest of the tapings. I think jumping back and forth from stuff that happened 4 months ago and all of a sudden trying to make it relevant into a storyline now, it kind of there's kind of a time disconnect there.
Because you know the inner workings.
This WrestleMania tiff is suddenly going to affect Night of Champions 5 months later. I can't get into that. It won't make sense to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that could be the case. I'm just saying if they could do something.
Yeah.
Maybe not that particular case, but if they could do something that can enhance the actual product.
Yeah. You know, you bring that up about there being that time warp, so to speak. I would like for this show to be more up to date. I mean, I understand WrestleMania is a great jumping off point, and maybe they intended for this show to debut sooner than what it did.
Or later. WrestleMania replaying tonight on this weekend on the NBC.
Well, that's true. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. But I would like for it to be a little bit more up to date. You know, like you said, they're if it were to affect something going on now, you know, that's something that happened like 4 or 5 months ago. Yeah, there would be that time disconnect there. You're totally correct. But if they were to like catch up, you know, and say, okay, well, this happened this week on Total Divas, and it's synced up to what's going on. For example, like they're showing the Bellas with D-Bry and Cena, and it's like, well, here we are 4 months later, and D-Bry's about to fight Cena. You know, like if there was some sort of incorporation there, you know.
Which is what we said they should do anyways.
Yeah.
You know.
I think the issue between the time warp is because it's on E, and there's more people that have to look and approve and
more production value.
If we wanted the time warp to work perfectly, drop the first hour of Raw, throw Total Divas on USA.
All right.
You have a week, stuff that happened 1 week ago, you'll have now, as opposed to 4 months ago at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it kills 2 birds with 1 stone because 3 hour Raws, you know. After a while, yeah. So,
we're making that fart noise a lot tonight.
I have a lot of gas.
Sorry, that was me.
No.
I think that's where the disconnect would end if WWE wanted to take complete control and do it their way, so that it would sync up with every other show that they already have on there. Mm-hmm. But since they wanted to try to get, it's funny. I guess the whole idea was to try to put it in the same realm of, oh, look at all these Kardashians, look at all these other like high profile shows that are on E. Let's see if we can hold our own here. Mm-hmm. When apparently there were more viewers on the replay that followed Raw.
Yeah.
You know, so if that's going to be the story, I know it was one time only, but if it happens again, like say for shits and giggles next week, They say during WWE programming 45 times, hey, our ratings were good for Total Divas on USA. We're going to try it again. If it turns out that Total Divas gets more viewers on this time slot than it would on this channel on this time slot, and if you want to sync it up to where, we're going to just kill the first season halfway through and then the next season is going to be on the spot live or concurrent with what's going on right now.
Well, they have other fan base on USA after Raw.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a lead-in. You know, Monday Night Raw being your lead-in, of course you're going to have a lot of...
But then that's 4 hours of programming.
And it's also the same fans that watch it as opposed to different fans that watch E, because I'm pretty sure like 90% of the wrestling community doesn't watch E.
I did see when I was looking at the reports for the ratings for the initial show on Sunday, the lead-in for Total Divas was at Kardashians, and that had like 2-point-something million viewers.
2.2, and then the Divas had 1.3.
Yeah, so...
But it was still,
helped or hurt, I don't know.
According to the reports, it was still the most successful debut that they've
since
had.
The Kardashians.
So the Kardashians might have 1 million viewers more, but the fact that this was their first showing, their first episode, it still did pretty good. So I'm guessing E's probably pretty happy.
And plus, E's not used to the fan base of a show like this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if not even half of the ratings, half of the viewers of the Total Divas were wrestling fans. I bet a lot of it was...
Just out of curiosity. Just like me. I wanted to check out just out of curiosity.
A lot of it was probably just moms and their daughters like, oh, hey, girl stuff, more girl stuff. Let's give this a shot. You know, as opposed to... us wrestling fans. Oh man, Jen and Brian, we need to go watch it on E. You know, I bet it's more the female demographic trying to see if it works. I'm curious now to see how the ratings go next week with the second episode.
After the first,
if they hold, if they drop half of their fan base of 1.3 million, that it's bad.
Yeah.
If they can keep somewhere in the 1,900,000 range consistently, they're going to be all right.
Yeah. So, pass or fail?
Just on what I saw so far, the first 15 minutes, I would actually give it a pass.
Since we've been talking about it for an hour and a half, I'm going to say it passed.
Yeah, I say pass too.
Yeah.
So,
It got us talking about it, so...
Yeah.
I just want to say D, Brian. That's all it is.
Thank you, dear.
Yes. All right.
She's not wrong.
Yeah, she's not wrong. Okay. Shall we talk about TNA?
Sure.
All right, let's talk about TNA.
Okay.
We go from Divas to TNA.
Yeah. All right. That joke's never been said before. There was a couple of match of the week candidates that were on this episode of Impact. So let's go ahead and get to those right off the bat.
Do we have any match of the week candidates from WWE? I don't think we mentioned it.
No, I had said that I wanted to make RVD versus Fandango a match of the week candidate, but then the ending just kind of didn't do it for me. So, no. I mean, unless there was some other suitable backup that I just overlooked.
RVD versus Del Rio from SmackDown was alright.
Fuck it. Okay, RVD versus Del Rio. There you go.
Nah.
You know, I actually do agree with you on that one.
I'm gonna screw this whole show up. I'm gonna say,
like you haven't already.
I know. Thank you. I would say segment of the week: Ziggler AJ SmackDown briefcase. That was more entertaining than almost any match that was on Raw, other than probably Kane Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
like
Kane D-Bry was really good.
Kane D-Bry was really good,
but it wasn't match of the week good.
It wasn't match of the week good.
It wasn't intense as D-Bry's matches have.
But for entertainment value, I think the Ziggler. If you haven't gotten to see it, make an effort to YouTube it. The Ziggler promo with AJ and his luggage, damn good.
Okay,
damn good.
Okay, fair. Okay, then let's get to what I was about to talk about with TNA. The two match of the week candidates are from there. First off, the Ultimate X match for the X Division title between Manic, Sanjay Dutt, and whatever they're
Trent
calling.
Beretta.
Yeah, Trent Beretta. Greg Marciano.
Why do you keep calling him that?
What the hell's his name?
Trent Beretta.
Okay, Trent Beretta. Whatever they're calling Trent Beretta now. Those three numbnuts. I thought that was a good match. I'd like to nominate that for Match of the Week candidate. Travis would like to nominate that for Match of the Week candidate. Chris does not want to nominate that as Match of the Week candidate. What Chris wants to nominate as Match of the Week is Joe versus Daniels.
Holy crap, yes.
Yeah, which, hey, I'm fine with that. But
that's a candidate for sure.
It's definitely a candidate. I like the Ultimate X match better, but then again, I'm an X Division mark, so of course that's what I would cheer for. So, Travis, it comes down to you.
I'm gonna go with the Ultimate X match.
Okay, there you go. Suck it, Chris.
Anybody else surprised at the announcement before the Ultimate X match started that it was the 37th Ultimate X match?
That was pretty damn surprising.
I wouldn't even have said that if I was Tenay. I just would have left that out altogether.
Yeah, I can't believe there's been that many.
That took out the uniqueness of the match. At that point, this is a regular match.
Man, that's been worn out like a $5 whore. I'm telling you.
Somebody really should do a fact check on that, because I doubt it's
Tenay.
really...
He's the professor. He wouldn't lie to us.
Well, true.
The last Ultimate X match was, get this, 6 weeks ago.
Oh my.
It was.
I guess if you are doing one every 6 weeks, then yeah.
That was when Chris Sabin won it and busted his head open like a bleeder, and then Hulk Hogan took the time to brag about himself instead of
while he's dying next to him.
While Sabin's bleeding like a virgin, Jim.
Bleeding like a virgin. Oh my. Well, there was nobody bleeding like a virgin on this match, but it was still pretty entertaining. I really liked the spot when Trent Barrera and Sanjay Dutt were up on top of the scaffolding there, and Trent Barrera was kind of...
Barrera.
Did I say Barrera? Oh, shit.
Like twice already, dude.
My bad.
Hey, it's not as bad as the commentary calling manic suicide.
Oh, man. Jeff Harvey. Anyway, I liked when he was when they were on top of the scaffolding there, and then went down onto the onto the ropes where the X Division title was. I thought that was pretty cool right there. Of course, Manic coming out of nowhere and then just kind of winning the title there at that point. It's like kind of like, whatever.
It kind of ended kind of fast, but because of that. But
yeah,
it was still a good match up to that point.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was a good match. There was a lot of high spots. Of course, Sanjay Dutt.
Get him on the contract,
Lord bless poor little Sanjay Dutt. Like, he is such a great X Division wrestler. He always does such great X Division moves. He's always stealing the show in these matches, and he never effing wins.
What's gonna happen first? Will Sanjay become X Division champion, or will his arm fall off? He wears tape on that thing. So I'm starting to think he's gonna look like Winter Soldier on one arm right here with all this stuff all over his arm.
I got your reference. He did, but yeah.
Oh.
Comics?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sanjay just like the Shelton Benjamin of WWE. Like, he won't. Yeah. When Shelton was in WWE, he would never win. Yeah.
I got that reference. Yeah. Wrestling.
Oh, God. Right. We need to get him out more often. Take him for a walk or something, Chris.
Yeah, so, good match. Also, another good match. Like, Chris was fighting for. Joe versus Daniels. Chris, why do you like that match so much?
Defend yourself, sir.
Is it that hard to explain? It's fucking Joe and freaking Daniels.
Yes. It's hard to go wrong with those.
It's hard to go wrong with those two. It's the Ziggler Del Rio of freaking TNA. and nothing. I was watching. I was like, man, this is a pretty good match. Okay, watching through it, man, this is a really good match. And then the point where Daniels tries to get an offensive and does like these judo sumo wrestling, like 6 little chops on Joe's chest that sound like bubble wrap going off. And then he swings a right punch and Joe ducks like Muhammad. He swings a left punch and Joe ducks like Frazier. And then Joe just like open hand bitch slaps the fuck out of Daniels and he falls down like 9/11. It was freaking priceless. I was like, man, that's over. I don't care who wins. This is match of the week candidate. I don't care if Daniels botched the BME. He did another one and he still looked like crap. I don't care. Match of the week.
All right, there we go. Both of which good matches. Kudos for TNA for putting on 2 solid matches. But as Charles was mentioning before we started recording, he thought this episode of Impact had pretty much good matches all the way up and down.
Yeah, besides those 2 matches, you did have Gail Kim versus Mickie James.
Which was solid.
Yeah, and then we also, on top of that, we had AJ and Hardy.
Which was solid.
Yes.
Not great, but,
This is kind of, we mentioned about having stacked cards on tape shows. This might be a case of that. Ultimate X match, the 2 are arguably the most popular characters, AJ and Hardy. Then you had another good knockout match, and then you had, Samoa Joe and Daniels. So that's a lot of good action for one show. You know, so what do y'all think?
Yeah, I think so too. And this was the case that I was trying to make for the past week, where it was, you know, we had the great one-on-one with A-Double and Robert Roode, and then the three-way matches, and then, of course, the main event with the world title match. I thought, you know, up and down, TNA had solid matches. So I think this is really 2 weeks in a row that TNA has had solid matches in their show. But I don't know if in this day and age, like, you know, when we talked to Tito Santana, wrestling's changed a little bit. It's not just about the wrestling. It's about the wrestling and the stories and the promos and all this and that. And I feel like, despite the fact that TNA consistently puts on good matches and sometimes even better quality matches on average than WWE, I still feel like this wasn't a good episode of Impact.
Yeah, the overall storyline of Impact was some bullshit with Bully Ray getting pissed off because he's lost and he brought in a lawyer. He's going to sue
Chris Sabin for using
and
a hammer.
TNA. And yeah, it was a bunch of bullshit, you know, and there's a bunch of backstage shit that was going on. And I don't know. TNA has to rely on their in-ring talent.
I'm with Bully. I've sued TNA. The storytelling was horrible. They're building up Chris Sabin as like the little underdog hero for overcoming all the odds. Yeah. When all they do is replay him hitting him with the goddamn hammer.
Exactly.
That's not something a winner would do.
Yeah, he overcame the odds. Think with the hammer. They shouldn't have done that. I mentioned this last week. If they were going to have Sabin use the hammer to win, it should have been more of a slant of, well, you're getting a taste of your own medicine. And when they were replaying those video packages,
weren't doing that. Yeah,
they weren't doing it. It was like, oh, he overcame the odds, but he cheated to win.
Yeah.
You know, it should have been like, he overcame the odds and
played their own game,
beat them at their own game, gave them a taste of their own medicine, all the cliches that you want to throw in there. Like, that's how they should have done it, but they're not angling it that way. Yeah. And it's so obvious that that's what you should do. That's just pissing me off that they're not doing it. Like,
you know? That vein throbbing in that bald spot of yours, man. Damn.
Yes,
if there's one thing that gets Abel mad, it's bad wrestling.
Bad booking. Bad storytelling.
Yeah. Bad storytelling, bad booking. Yes, that is one thing. And then you come out here and say that he's gonna sue, that Bully's gonna sue him for, I mean, dude, this is just silly. And I'm always hesitant whenever in wrestling they get police or lawyers involved. Because sometimes it fits, but it's very, very rare that it fits. But most of the time, about 80% of the time, when you get those elements involved, it just doesn't work out, and it's not sound legally, and it just makes it look stupid and ignorant.
I think the only time having authority, like police and all that shit, in the rings and shit, is during the Attitude Era.
Yeah,
I think it's the only time it really worked out. You know, other than that, it's just like, you know, the wrestler, you know, like Bully or whatever, I'm going to hire security guards to surround the ring. You're not going to get... It's like, what the fuck? You know, you can't do that kind of shit.
You have your own personal security guards. It's called the Aces 8.
Yeah.
You don't need to hire extra chumps.
Unless Dixie's already fired everybody.
Well, that's true.
Well, with all the firing, she might actually have hired somebody, because apparently somebody's showing up on August the 1st, and I have no idea who the fuck this guy is.
Yeah.
That was a $5 segue, my friend.
Yes, it was.
He's made it perfectly clear that he is not Batista.
Or Chris Jericho.
Which makes me think it's Batista.
Or Chris Jericho.
No, Batista and Chris Jericho.
McMahon's cloning in success.
First of all, does anyone care?
You know, I'm curious. I don't care. I'm curious. I want to see how bad this is probably going to be screwed up.
Because this seems... Yeah, exactly.
Talking about a train wreck you can't turn away from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Of the male persuasion, that's what this guy's going to be. I've been waiting for this guy to intro like the Shockmaster and trip over something, and they get burned by pyro, and he gets killed, and all of a sudden, TNA gets off the map and has to close down because they murdered a guy.
My first guess when I saw it was it's McMahon.
He bought
Shane.
Shane's gonna show up. I bought TNA, Dad.
He's the last one that's not in the little corners of the match for SummerSlam.
Yeah, he's gonna have Bully Ray in his corner. Then we'll have a McMahon in every corner.
Yeah.
Wow.
If it's not him, I'm gonna say Hardcore Holly. There's a reason that, but I won't get into it right now.
Can I start off with my initial structural problem about this?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
It's your show.
Okay, thank you.
As you pointed out during the interview.
Yeah, right, I know.
Ooh, did you feel that? It was a low blow.
Yeah.
Because apparently Orton didn't feel it. Oh!
Okay. I'm upset with the way that this is structured because we have one vignette on Impact that's announcing something that's going to happen on the next episode of Impact, and then you have 2 other vignettes during the week where, unless you're actively following TNA on Facebook or Twitter, you're going to miss it.
Right.
I felt like they could have done the first video 3 weeks ago, the second video last week, and the third video this week, and then this upcoming week they do the reveal. Have it, prolonged, lengthened out a little bit more. Them just kind of throwing this together all in one week and having some videos in places where half of your audience aren't going to see it anyway because they don't know that it's online.
It feels desperate.
Yeah, it feels desperate. It feels rushed. It feels hot-shotted.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel right.
You're surprised?
I didn't say I was surprised.
This is just another premature ejaculation from TNA. Exhibit A, Kurt Angle, pay-per-view. 6 sides, 1 angle. It's damn real. How many promo vignettes do we get after that? None, because the first taping of Impact, Kurt Angle comes out and beats up and fights Samoa Joe. Like TNA has a sheet a mile long of them doing this with every single guy. They can't wait to build somebody up a week. Oh, hey, we signed Rampage. He'll be out next week. Really? You don't want to save that for 2 or 3 weeks? You don't want to put that on a pay-per-view? Oh, wait, you only have
they're
4
so
pay-per-views.
desperate. They're so desperate to, get... that's one thing we've always said about TNA is they don't have patience. It's like they gotta do everything right now. Yeah.
Well, I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But
I know that tone.
I know.
It's the cherry limeade coming.
It is. Oh man, this stuff is delicious. Kool-Aid, cherry limeade.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's making your hair grow back.
A little bit, yes.
So pat.
Is there Propecia in this? Is that
Sure, but get your damn point.
Oh, I agree.
Okay. What I was going to say is that, yeah, while TNA seemingly doesn't have patience, they have enough patience to run a storyline where somebody doesn't get a title shot for a year. And they have enough patience to have the Bound for Glory series last half a year to determine a number 1 contender for one damn pay-per-view. So, I don't understand why TNA is like that, where they're like so eager on a few things and then they just drag some shit out way too long on other things. It's like they can't find that happy middle ground,
Because there's 2 examples you did about, maybe AJ or Bound for Glory, that kind of shit. That's wrestling based. That's something that can be played out over the course of time, and they've probably thought about it. And how many Bound for Glories have they had already? So stuff like that, they kind of know. But stuff like, Rampage and this August 1 crap, it's hot shot stuff just to try to get people to, they try to get like
they're here and now.
Yes,
they're trying to get somebody now. They're not, TNA's not looking, if this was a relationship, they're not looking for Mr. Right. They're looking for Mr. Right the fuck now.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, they just want to get their load off and then they're done. They don't want to commit.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes.
That's what you gotta do sometimes,
Yeah, I guess so.
That's what I do.
So, yeah.
Wait, that's a good analogy for TNA, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The lack of their patience is pissing me off with this. Now, let me harp on another aspect.
Harp away, sir.
The quality of the damn video itself. Oh my god.
Well, it is a videotape. It is a videotape.
Oh, Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. If this was 97, I would understand why somebody would drop a videotape to the
But they
Impact
specifically
offices.
said a videotape was dropped off of the desks.
Yeah, you couldn't email a damn MP3? Come on.
M4V.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. I mean...
JPEG, PDF,
yeah.
AVI something,
Yeah, you couldn't just throw that shit up on YouTube and say, hey,
Well,
Dixie,
TNA
look
did.
at this. Yeah,
Yeah,
TNA threw it up
did,
on YouTube, but the mystery guy didn't. And, the way that they did this fake distortion on the video itself, it's just annoying.
It's like too much.
It's like too much fake distortion.
Annoying.
Yeah.
I thought I was listening to Daft Punk. I didn't know it was a freaking promo for a wrestler. That's what it sounded like. No, that's what that sounded like. I didn't even hear half the words the dude was saying. I didn't even know if it was English.
Again with the fart noises.
Well, I did hear that in the promo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the promo itself is just it's a tad bit annoying.
It's so desperate. I'm not this former WWE guy.
No, to begin with, I am not a TNA Impact employee.
Yeah.
So then why the fuck is TNA putting it on their YouTube? Put it on your own YouTube, hashtag TNA or something. Do what the young kids do to find a way to make it look like it's not TNA doing
Right,
it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I'll be over it in a week.
you know...
No, you won't.
2 weeks. Fine.
Okay.
Fine.
The fact...
Because you got to bitch about who it is
Yeah.
next week, and then after that you'll be over it.
Yeah.
And now, the fact that he's saying that he's not Chris Jericho and he's not Batista,
Who else is up there?
it just sounds like... Yeah,
Goldberg!
it just sounds like they're name-dropping just to create
Yes, exactly. That's
controversy.
exactly what they're doing. Yeah.
And that's ridiculous. I mean, they can't get it over on its own merits.
Yeah. And TNA always does that. They always...
We brought a 15-time WWE champion to our show. Oh, really? Okay.
No, the best one. Oh my god! It's Mike Knox! He's a former bodyguard!
I know that guy. It's Mike Knox.
Yeah.
I
That's
know
Luke,
that guy,
that's
it's
Luke
Luke
Gallows!
Gallows.
Yeah, he used to be...
Luke Gallows.
He used to be a bodyguard for the most over guy in the wrestling world.
In wrestling. I failed to mention it wasn't on our show.
All right, let's speculate away like how they think that we're doing in the video. Who is it?
The fuck do I care?
Hardcore Holly.
Okay.
It looks like Hardcore Holly. He's bald.
And he was on that last pay-per-view.
Yeah.
If y'all didn't see it. So.
What personal vendetta does Hardcore Holly have, or Bob Holly, or Sparkplug Holly, or whatever he wants to call himself?
Thurman.
Thurman.
Sparky Plug.
Because apparently the videos are saying that this dude has a personal vendetta with Impact Wrestling that he's about to take care of on August 1st. So what? If it's Holly, what the hell is he?
Isn't that the storyline for the Aces and Eights? The Aces and Eights had a personal vendetta against TNA, so they started their own faction and bullshit.
It's Devon.
Actually, I heard a couple of people say Adam Pearce.
Okay, why not?
He would have a vendetta since he didn't get picked for Gut Check.
Yeah, sure.
And he's bald.
Okay, I buy it.
And he's decent in the ring.
It could be him just as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
And
well, we've had all this time to think about it.
oh yeah, a whole week. You know,
A whole 3 days.
you know,
something that's going to happen in 3 more days.
a part of them mentioning Batista and Chris Jericho really makes it backfire when it's somebody not nearly as popular as Batista or Chris Jericho. And I mean, as much as I would like to support a Texas guy, you know, Adam Pearce, and you know, as much as I'd like to, you know, think that, you know, he's cool and everything, dude's nowhere near the level of Batista or Chris Jericho. So if it were to be Adam Pearce, that would be a disappointment. You know, if it's even anybody else that is not on the caliber or on the level of Jericho or Batista, it'll be a disappointment.
Yeah.
You know, so why even mention them? If,
exactly.
You know, and here's another aspect of it. TNA just released how many people over the last month? Have done how many budget cuts?
20, 25 people. I don't know.
And now you're signing a new motherfucker that's supposed to be like this big badass shit. Like, it better be somebody.
No,
that's
he's not
just
hired. He's not with TNA.
Well, get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? I mean, they had to spend money, so this is you know.
All that money on the VHS.
At least a DVR, like
Something,
DVR,
yeah.
something of this century.
Yeah.
Freaking VHS. Damn. Dude.
Somebody left it on a USB
You can
flash
tell
drive.
you
like
can tell
that could-
somebody from WCW came up with that idea.
Bischoff?
God.
Hogan?
Maybe. I don't know. But I guess we're gonna find out who it is.
Thursday.
You know, on Thursday. So whatever. We'll get to just rip this one
wait.
off like a band-aid since it's happening so fast.
August 1st. Did y'all think it was going to be this August 1st? No. It's next August 1st.
Oh.
We have a whole more year of this shit.
Fucking hell. And you said TNA doesn't be patient. Isn't patient.
Fuck.
Alright. Last thing I want to get to, well, there's 2 more things actually. I want to talk about the little segment with Joseph Park and EY, where EY showed Joseph Park the match where he went crazy after he saw his own blood and turned into Abyss, and EY was trying to like convince him that, hey, bro, you got problems and this is what's going on. I think that was, one, a nice turn in the right direction for the storyline for Joseph Park / Abyss. And I also think that it was well done because EY and Joseph Park they're good on those backstage segments. They're good at talking to each other. They're good at improvising and just saying funny things, especially EY. I think that came off well.
Okay.
All right.
I like Eric Young. Obviously, he's awesome. The many sides of Joseph Park, it's awesome. I just don't want to kill the vibe right now by saying I've seen somebody small with a beard helping somebody that used to be a monster on wrestling television before.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Okay, yeah, I can see it.
But if it gets past this Joseph Park character, maybe get into some other aspect, because we said that's one thing they need to do something else with this character.
Yeah,
if they can bring back Abyss. What are they going to do with him? You know?
Or the third Park.
Exactly, the third Park.
Yeah.
And what the hell's happened to Abyss? Where has he been? Like, he made this big debut. He was gonna be back, and
didn't he win the title?
More of him.
He won the title from the TV title.
Did he?
Yeah, remember
the one they retired.
Yeah, they did retire the TV title.
Was that on TV though? Did they retire?
That wasn't on TV.
They couldn't even. They couldn't even retire the TV title.
Breathe, son. Breathe.
The TV title cannot be retired on TV.
Right. Yeah. Welcome to TNA.
God. It's crazy.
My point was, this is ridiculous that we had Abyss return, or re-debut, if you will, and then have him go away, and we're having to have a slow build for him to re-debut again, for Joseph Park to finally realize he's Abyss and turn into Abyss. This is stupid and ridiculous from that aspect of it. I just want to see Abyss. Just bring him back already.
With the old theme song.
Yes, with the old theme song.
With the old theme song,
Yes.
Are you done?
I'm done with that. Okay. Next thing. Where the hell's Taz?
Yes. Where is Taz? That's a good question. Because the commentators aren't telling us.
Nope.
He's coming back August the 1st, guys.
That's who it is. It's Taz.
Taz.
Taz was disgruntled with the Aces and Eights and TNA, so he decided he's going to send in a VHS tape because he's old school like that.
I can picture Taz with VHS tapes.
He's old school like that. Yeah.
How do you work this freaking thing?
Like,
I don't know.
Oh man, I left ECW and all they gave me was this old VCR that I used in a match in Long Island, New Jersey, like 5 years ago. But it still works, so you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot.
He just recorded over old ECW fan cams.
Yeah.
There's like an episode of Eastern Championship Wrestling from '83 of Tito Santana winning the title, and he recorded over it and made this message.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know. It's annoying, especially since they re-signed him. Taz was the only one to really get re-signed during all these firings. It's like everybody got fired, everybody got released, except for Taz. We signed him to a new deal. Oh, great. Okay, you decided to spend money instead of, cut money. Awesome.
Where is he?
TNA is not spending their money wisely.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, they're just giving it away. I'm sticking my hand up.
Yeah.
Right here.
I don't know. I want to know where Taz is. I want Abyss back. And I hope I'm not disappointed by the August 1st
You will.
person. And I will.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's been time.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about AJ Styles now?
He's alright. I've still missed the flippy dippies. He's done a little bit of flippy dippies, especially in this last match. Yeah. So okay, I could kind of see them incorporating this or whatever, but I'm not 100% on board yet, but I'm getting there.
Okay.
He's adapting well to the character change. I'll give him that much. He's changed his whole effing style for this character, this new gimmick change. I don't know if that's making better matches. It's more grounded, but maybe I'm not 100% behind it, but
You're getting there too?
Yeah.
Just like him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm the same. Because I was the advocate from the beginning when they had it's literally a complete reboot. Like, they didn't just fix panels or they didn't just replace tires. They redid the whole car.
Yeah.
Like, this is brand new.
Oh, they did fix one thing that I did kind of nitpick about was when he first did this thing, he would come out to the ring, he still did the hand thing. He didn't do that on Impact.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now all he does, he kind of grips his gloves and he just kind of walks to the ring. When he got to the ring, he did the little
It's
flip.
still kind of a little work in progress. What works, what doesn't work.
Yeah, he did.
If he does it slower.
He did the hood flip thing, but it wasn't like over the top where he put his arms out and everything. He just kind of flipped the hood and that was it. So it was a little piece of that, but it wasn't over the top. And he did stop the hand gesture thing, so that's cool. He is He is adapting. And that's what I'm saying. I'm getting more behind it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But also realize that to get behind AJ right now means that you're going to have more faith in what TNA is going to do with AJ. And right now, especially for me, faith in TNA is at an all-time low. This is the worst I've seen TNA ever be. There was a point in time where I thought TNA was better than WWE. You know, right before WWE ECW debuted, I thought TNA was going to overtake WWE in a matter of like a couple of years at that point. And I thought TNA was just phenomenal. You know, no pun intended with AJ. But, you know, it's really fallen off. And I'd hate to try to invest so much into this new AJ while still thinking that the investment in TNA as a whole is a bad investment. Does that make sense?
Question. Without the status of TNA clouding the judgment, is it too late for this complete reboot of AJ Styles? Or do you guys still factor in the fact that the way that the situation of the company is now, or regardless of that, you think it's too late?
I'm not taking in consideration of TNA as a whole. I'm just looking at AJ
Is it too late for AJ the character? Is it too late in his career for him to have this reboot and still matter? Or do you still think
No.
there's
It's
a
not too
chance?
late. No, it's not too late.
I don't think it's too late, but I think for what it is, it's slightly too early. Like, I wouldn't have minded a small tweak here and there, but a complete overhaul from going from a high flyer to a mat-based technical guy, I don't think he needed to do that at this point of his career. Maybe like I said, some little changes here and there would have been apropos, but a complete overhaul, especially like this, not so much. I don't think, then again, you know, I'm not a trainer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not AJ himself, I don't know what's going on. I think that he could have still been Mr. High-Flying, High-Octane Flippy Dippies for at least another couple of years. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe there's something wrong with him. Maybe he's getting soreness or has an injury that we didn't know of that he had to fight through or whatever, and that's why he's more grounded.
That can't be the case. I mean, look at RVD. You know, he's still doing all that shit.
No. Yeah, but everybody is different, so,
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I want to be on your side and say that, and that's exactly what I'm trying to propose here, that it is too early, and he could probably still do the flippy dippies. Why are you having him not do it now? I could understand if it's like, oh, hey, my bones are wearing out, my cartilage is wearing out, I'm getting old, I need to go and change my character to have a mat-based style, but I don't know if he was necessarily there yet.
I'm not even sure if it's just the health, because his entire career, there have been tweaks here and there, but it's still pretty much been the same AJ Styles.
Yeah.
This is something where it's completely fresh and completely different. And like you notice, they're still tweaking it. But they're tweaking it from the opposite end, coming back to some kind of middle, as opposed to still doing the same stuff that's gone on for 10 years that has only gotten them to this point.
Right.
To where this new AJ and then tweaking it could go even higher if it gets to that point. Or
like he just like
or
on
company
show.
permitting if he has the opportunity for it to get that long before.
This was one of the better showings I've seen of AJ this past episode. Yeah. Just with him busting out the Pele, he did a little Superman punch in the corner. You know, so he's trying to kind of mix
the two.
What works from his old character, what he can just bust out just in a second, you know. So it's good. It's good to see a combination of that coming around.
Hopefully, TNA sooner rather than later will right the ship and start going in a good direction.
I gotta say this real quick because I keep losing the thought.
Okay, go ahead.
For AJ to get like totally behind it, it does take part of TNA to do that too. His character has to come full circle by winning Bound for Glory.
Okay.
This whole started because he lost, he couldn't get a title shot for another year, blah, blah, blah. And this, like, he wouldn't be able to get into the title shot without Bound for Glory. So I think that should say something too.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, that's fair.
That'll be his redemption, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I want to say.
Fair.
Chris doesn't agree.
I agree completely.
Okay.
It's just that it's not going to happen the way it should have happened, because the whole storyline that he's in the middle. He's not Team TNA. Mm-hmm. He's not Team Aces and Eights. But since there isn't anybody from Aces and Eights holding the belt now, how significant will AJ finally winning the title be if it's against Chris Sabin?
You know,
who's to say that Chris Sabin will still have the title at the time?
You know, that's the other thing that irks me about this whole August 1st guy. You already have this crowded main event scene.
There's too much going on.
Yeah, with the main event Mafia, with the Aces and Eights, with Sabin, who doesn't have an affiliation, with AJ, who doesn't have an affiliation. Now you're going to add another guy into the mix that's presumably going to be a main focal point, maybe even in the main event, who has something against TNA and wants to, you know... I don't know if the timing is right for this, you know?
This whole August 1st thing is just, it goes back to it being rushed and hotshot, and it's...
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that big of a factor on the show. I think this is going to be a segment. I don't think it's going to be like the focal point or anything. There's no way it can be. Because how many people actually saw that shit? That actually watched the show? You know? It happened like after Impact last week, so you would have to have seen it on YouTube or their Facebook or whatever. You know, so that's getting back into that story.
I don't know.
Yeah,
we're just going to have to take a wait-and-see approach on that and talk about it next week, you know, and just see what happens.
We've been talking a lot about TNA these last few weeks.
Yeah, we have. All right. I think we're done for this week, for now. Let's go ahead and start wrapping things up and get into some plugs. Of course, we also have to re-plug these guys again. They helped us get Tito Santana on the show, and that's really, really, really awesome.
Clutch City.
Yes, Clutch City Productions.
Productions, promotions, rejections, terminations, unemployment. Productions.
Right. Clutch City Productions. They are putting on the Sports and Celebrity Super Show. It's going to be on August 31st and September the 1st at the Pasadena Convention Center. And
they do have a Facebook page. You can see them on Facebook and Twitter.
Right. You know, let me pull up their Twitter handle right now so you can check them out on Twitter. It is at Clutch City Prod, Prod. So, who'd have thunk it, right? So check them out on Twitter, and then also, you know, Facebook. You just do facebook.com/Clutch City Productions. Also go to their website, which is www.clutchcityproductions. And, you know... .com. Right. Thank you. And, you know, just getting back to it again, all these people that you could go out there and meet. Of course, like we just had on the show today, Tito Santana. Then also Greg the Hammer Valentine, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, X-Pac. There's going to be like a whole like Wolfpack NWO type reunion thing. That's pretty cool. Also Robbie E. and Book Tessmacher. So check it out. Go out there. Go see them. Go see us. We'll be there too.
No. Go see them.
Shut up, Chris.
Go see them.
Come see Chris and tell him how much of an asshole he is. Live and in person.
Not that he doesn't already know.
Right.
Oh, no, I know.
Well, you are what you eat.
Oh. That's not a denial.
That's a good one. I didn't have a comeback. You
made me speechless.
Look, I'll put right there. There's a point on the scoreboard for Abel.
Oh, thank you.
So it's 1,000 to 1.
Right.
So it's not a complete blowout.
All right. So yes, thank you so much for these guys. We're going to be plugging them, you know, a little bit more coming during the coming weeks, and hopefully we'll have maybe some more interviews or more announcements on who's going to be there at the show. So either way, stay tuned into us and keep an eye on their Facebook page and their website to, you know, see what's going to go on. And it's going to be a pretty cool show so far from what I can tell. Also,
wait.
What?
I just thought of something.
Okay.
God.
This ain't gonna take long. But we were talking about match of the weeks and everything. There was one that did happen. Wasn't really televised unless you have Hulu. But on NXT, Paige versus Emma for the NXT Women's Championship, not Divas Champion, the Women's Champion. And it was actually a pretty decent match. I wish it went on a little bit longer. But it was just pretty good.
You know, I heard from our little helper, Porsche. Yes, our little helper Porsche. She said that was one of the better female matches that she's seen in a long while, if not one of the best. So she did say that.
I'm not gonna say it was the best, or I'm not gonna say it was match of the week. It was damn good match for a Divas match.
Okay.
So if you got the chance, go check it out for sure.
Definitely, I'll have to check it out.
And plus, it was crowning the first champion.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can see what the belt looks like too.
Yeah.
Looks a lot better than Diva's title.
Does it? Better than the Polly Pocket title?
Yes.
There
is purple in it, but...
Yeah, well, it's the girls' title. Of course they'll have...
Right, so they have to have purple, right?
Pink or purple or something.
Right, yeah.
Or red.
Anyway, that's all I want to say. Okay, so...
Anyway, next up, Awesome AG Designs.
That guy again?
Yeah, this guy, aside from, doing t-shirts and stuff, he could also do tablecloths and banners, which is something that we'll need if we're going to be, going to a convention and have a table and booth. So
Product. We need product.
Yes, we need product. So, check
Hint.
Check him out on Facebook at Awesome AG Designs. You can also check him out on Twitter at Mean Aaron G. Let's see, what else we got here? Stoppage Time with Hero and Hammer. Hey, guess what?
Yo.
I went to my first Dynamo game this past weekend.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was fun.
Told you.
Yeah, it was really fun. I was really embracing my inner Mexican roots going.
Arriba!
Arriba! Yes.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
No.
Oh. The first time a non-soccer fan goes to a soccer game, of course, that soccer game has to end in an effing tie. Really? Yeah. That's really gonna win me over. Have a tie.
What is
please.
it, a bow or a Windsor?
Those are neckties.
Are those technical terms?
That's technical terms for me being a douche. Keep going.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah. But it was fun. It was really neat, really interesting, and if you want to hear all about it and hear somebody talk about it on a podcast, check out Hero and Hammer. They have their show up on iTunes, so you can search them on iTunes for, you search Stoppage Time with Hero and Hammer, because there's a couple of Stoppage Times on there. Find the one with Hero and Hammer. Those are the cool ones. And then, you can also search them on Stitcher Radio. They got on the Stitcher Radio app, so, go check them out.
Aren't we on Stitcher too?
Yes, sir. We are on Stitcher.
How about that?
They were following our lead.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But they're some good guys, so go and listen to
They're
their show.
alright.
They're alright. They're only kind of cool.
They're 4 out of 10.
Alright. Let's see. Who else do we have to plug here? Of course, the other podcasts out there, if you didn't get enough of wrestling talk with us, you could always check out Shining Wizards at shiningwizards.com. You could check out the Pile Driver podcast on iTunes and also at the wrestlingchronicle.com. And also Marking Out at markingout.com. Those are all some good podcasts. I like them. I listen to them. And, most of the time. Not all the time.
Why didn't we name our show after a wrestling move?
Yeah, Abel.
I don't know.
We can call it Stinkface Radio.
Stinkface Radio.
Yeah.
Well, with all the freaking fart noises you've been doing today, it makes sense.
That's what people call us anyways.
Yeah.
The Powerbomb Show.
I don't know. You got your
The Armbar Show.
Armbar Show. Yeah.
Whatever.
Jericho invented it.
Yes.
He invented our show.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that's it, guys.
One thing that you guys might not have known.
What's that?
I was paying close attention when Hogan announced on TNA the rematch between Sabin and Bully Ray in a steel cage match on Hardcore Craptacular, whatever show is going to be on Impact.
2.
And then he followed up the announcement by doing a duck face. The handlebar old man son of a bitch did a duck face. And then I realized Jericho invented that. Go back to his debut in WWE, and after The Rock runs him down, what's the face that Jericho makes?
He makes a duck face.
I'd never seen it before until
Hogan's done
then.
that before, though.
No.
Speaking of ducks, what about the Bellas there with the little quack quack thing?
Oh, Jesus.
Wasn't that stupid?
Yeah, yes, very good, Abel. That was stupid.
That was really stupid.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
It was a backstage thing on Raw. The Bellas ran up to Natalya, and they basically called her the ugly duckling of the show, of the Total Diva show. So when Natalya was wrestling one of the Bellas, the other Bella came out with a little quack.
Like a kazoo.
Kazoo, making quack noises.
Well, it wasn't a kazoo, it was a duck call.
Yeah, duck call, whatever.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And started doing duck call noise. It was stupid.
It was it reminded me of the Piggy James thing.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Be a star, WWE.
Well, you say that with the Ryback.
Yeah.
Backstage thing.
Okay.
By the way, that thing with the food getting stuck in that guy's ear, did you see that?
I feel
bad
Chris,
for
you
that
were
guy.
telling me that he was an NWA Houston guy.
I was?
Yeah. Oh no, or was it Scott? It was Scott. My bad. Yeah, it was Scott that was telling me that.
Holy crap! That was an NWA Houston guy. If
was.
I'm not mistaken, this guy has one of the coolest gimmicks. He has like the frame of a mirror, of those standing mirrors. He has like the outline, the frame of it, and he put like these hinges on it so he can fold it. So what he does, let me stand up so the two people here at the table and the millions that are watching at home can close their eyes and visualize what I'm about to do. He like folds out the mirror, so he like looks at himself through the mirror and then he walks through it, like it's a perfect vision come true kind of.
Okay.
It's really weird, but if you see it in person, you'll be like, I get it.
Okay.
Right. I didn't even realize
this guy's name is Ricky Starks.
Yes.
There you go.
Hey.
So yeah, NWA Houston, yay. We
Did you get that from that description, or did you just...
No, from what Scott was telling me. But I was trying to remember it, and as I was trying to get
but
it out.
as of now, he's also known as Holy Guacamole.
Holy Guacamole.
It's going to take a lot of Q-tips to get all that stuff out of his ear.
That was nasty.
Gross. Especially if it was thick and had vegetables
I know,
in it.
man. I was like, the whole time I was like, the whole time I was like, that's all I could like focus on was all that shit in his ear. I was like, God.
That was,
poor bastard.
That was pretty bad.
He's probably still cleaning that shit out of his ear.
That's the highlight of man on his tombstone. Born, died,
and guacamole shoved in his ear.
on WWE Raw.
With guacamole.
Like instead of roses, there's like bean dip and guacamole and Doritos broken and scattered
I
over.
thought that was tuna. That's what it looked like to me. Just
What is
like
it? Yeah, it's like
cantina.
brown and white shit. I don't know.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
Another thing from this past week's tapings of Raw and SmackDown.
We're gonna end the show eventually.
I know, eventually. Robbie E, our very own Robbie E, had a dark match on Monday, right? It wasn't on the Tuesday Raw. It was on the Monday Raw, right?
I believe so.
It was the one in Austin. That was on Monday.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. He had a dark match against Justin Gabriel.
Yes.
So pretty cool. Congratulations to him.
Nice.
That's really freaking awesome.
I'll never go back.
Chris, you suck.
Who's the guy in PWA with the Vader mask?
Jared Steele.
He had a dark match in WWE before.
Yeah, a while ago. A long time ago.
Years ago.
Yeah,
it was a... I remember going to the Royal Rumble in San Antonio. Then the next night, a Raw was in Dallas. And Jared Steele had a dark match, and he won it against Funaki or Jamie Noble or some like midget that Jared Steele just mopped the floor with him. And then he showed up the next month at PWA. And I was like, oh my god, that guy! I remember that guy. He beat the midget on Raw. It's long ago, long time ago.
All right. Well, speaking of PWA, the next ROW show will be on the 10th, so make sure you guys come out to see that. And also, they have their newest episodes up on YouTube, so go ahead and just search YouTube for Booker T's ROW and find the latest episode and check it out there.
Yeah.
So it'll be some awesome stuff. We should have a couple of other interesting interviews coming up here within the next couple of weeks or so. Don't want to give too much away because nothing's completely confirmed yet. But stay tuned. We're going to have a couple of other, surprises for you. And, pretty exciting stuff going on this month as far as I'm concerned with our little show here. I'm pretty stoked about it, pretty hyped. So, thanks so much for supporting us and listening, and hopefully you tell some friends about our show, and hopefully you keep tuning in. So thanks so much. We'll call that a show. Let's wrap it up. Adios, my friends. Keep it classy. Toodles.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!